What the Donald?
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
What?
Uh, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that. I was expecting the Squidward.
Yeah, throws you off. That's called subversion of expectations. That's what we do here at the podcast.
Yes.
Exactly. What are you up to, Gregatron?
Destroying the Autobots.
Yes, transvestites, men in disguise.
Yeah.
What have you been up to this past week?
Hold on. Let me turn up my volume a bit here. That's a lot better. Can you please repeat the question?
What have you been up to in the past week, Mr. Gregatron?
Well, I'm glad you asked, cause I went to a Korean barbecue / hot pot place, and it was mid.
Were there kinks?
I don't know. I think they were Chinese.
Oh, well, we can't say that word on here, can we?
No. Does that mean the kinks?
You can say there's a chink if it's in your armor.
Is that, you think like YouTube would catch that, or would they be?
Would they be like contextual?
Didn't the football player get in trouble for saying that?
A chink in his armor?
Yeah.
Football players wear armor?
Well, like metaphorical armor.
Oh, he got in trouble for this, you say?
Yeah, I remember we had like some police officer come to our school back in like
what?
Middle school, and he was talking about, I don't even remember what he was talking about actually. I just remember he said that, and then he kind of just went off saying like a bunch of slurs.
What?
Yeah. The talk was about something. I don't even remember if this was like related to the main point, but it was something about like the point he was making, at least at that point in time, was being careful of what you said. And he brought up that story about a football player that said, "Hey man, you really have a chink in your armor," as like a metaphorical thing. And he's like, "Yeah, but he got in trouble for it. You know, I could say this, that, and the other. Hey, this, hey, that." He went up like, I didn't even know there were that many slurs, to be honest. He was really going for it, but he's like, he listed them all out. And then I don't even remember what the point was because this was so long ago. So now that's like the only thing that's stuck in my mind.
Hey there, Caldwell. Why do you snigger? I snigger because of all the niggling chiggers. My sniggers grow bigger because of the niggling chiggers.
Wow, that's a minefield. Holy, actually, hold on. Let me turn this light on. It's like a little too dark here for my liking.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, I was mid, and then I went to ye old trusty bar.
The food was mid, or the waitresses?
Both.
That's even worse.
I mean, I'm not really expecting much from a place like that.
Would you have rather went to Hooters?
No, because Hooters fucking sucks on this. Those restaurants where the whole like thing is like the eye candy and shit, their food fucking blows. It's never good. It's never good.
What do you think the point is of the restaurant? It's not the food.
I mean, at the very least, you could make the food mid.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Not like pure garbage.
It's just so shit. Every time I go, I don't know why anybody even likes wings like that anyway, if I'm being honest. Wings are, you get barely any meat on them. They're fucking tiny, and they're like fucking slathered in the shitty sauce. It's almost always seed oil bullshit. Like, jeez. And then on top of that, it's fried in it too. So like,
yeah. So you're getting PUFAs, and it's like, you know, what else are you even getting from this? Like, the protein doesn't even really matter.
No.
So, I mean, here you are just eating, honestly, shit. I mean, I used to think like, okay, so there were points where I was doing like keto or like low carb, like for like month-long stretches. Even so, I didn't even like pizza at all, really, ever.
It's overrated.
So whenever pizza would get ordered, I'm like, yeah, let me just get some wings. You know those memes too, where it's like the broke niggas when they say get some wings with the pizza?
No.
As if they got money. As if they're paying for it.
Wait, kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel, but it's
Wow.
like it's true. I just don't like pizza, man. Like
Uh,
even if you were to present me today, you're like you have to eat one. It's like I don't really want the pizza to be real.
You know, you're better off with the pizza just because the pizza's more likely to fill you and you've
Hmm.
got more going on there. But if it's like mediocre or below tier pizza, the wings might be the better option.
There was a point where I kind of warmed up to pizza a little bit, but then obviously I just stopped because I'm like, well, there's just this shit's covered in grease.
I mean, I always assumed that that's grease from the cheese anyway.
Oh, I just know that there are places that straight up just put oil on that shit. I
Why
mean, I
the
think
fuck
I
would
think
you
there are
do
places.
that?
I mean, I know there are places specifically where people ask for oil on the pizza. They're like, "Yeah, let me get pizza with oil on it, bro." It's like on the
Why?
menu in some places.
So like I know like the traditional way, they'll throw like olive oil on it, but and that's like I mean that's not ideal either, but that's like better. But like you mean like they're throwing seed oils on that shit?
Bro, it just says oil. It doesn't say olive oil. They're just like, "Yeah, let me
Oh
get the pizza with the
no.
oil on it."
That's got to be canola oil.
And even so, even if it is olive oil, quote unquote, I mean, I literally just watched a video from somebody that sent a video in the Discord that we're in, my Discord, that was like this guy went, or it's this guy from Santa Cruz Medicinals, or I guess I don't know if he sells their stuff or he does that. Like I think he actually is like the main guy from there, but he basically goes to this restaurant where he's like, yeah, they say they like have all their stuff in olive oil, and he's like, all right, so do you have anything that's like olive oil or canola oil? And they're like, oh, only the garlic's in canola oil. And he's like, okay, well, can I see the olive oil that you use for the rest of the stuff? He's like, oh, okay, you got the Greek stuff. That's nice. That's nice. Then he looks at it. The first ingredient actually isn't olive oil. It's sunflower oil. And then the second ingredient is olive oil.
It's so over, bro.
Yeah, that makes you think like even if a place is like, yeah, we cook our stuff in olive oil. There's still a reason to not trust that.
Basically, the only time I expect it to actually be olive oil is if it's like going for that Italian thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, I will say there was like one time I was at an airport in DC. I forgot what the name of the place was. I don't know if it was like Elevate Burger or Sky Burger or something like that.
no, man,
But
I almost said something that I have to cut out. Never mind.
anyway, so they said they cooked their fries in olive oil. I did try the fries. I didn't feel like shit after eating them. So something leads me to believe. I mean, that was ages ago, but that something leads me to believe that they probably were mostly truthful about it.
How
Even
do
though,
you
why would you
fry
put
them in
olive oil in a
olive oil?
fryer? Doesn't have a high smoke point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of sus. I wouldn't eat there again.
Well, to get back on topic, what I did after that is I met with well, I was already with these people. We were looking for somewhere else to go, and we went to a place that you and I both know, the old tavern or not tavern pub.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had two ciders there, and man, I am out of practice because that two ciders is enough to get me like not in homeostasis.
Yeah, that would probably be me today because I really haven't been touching it at all. I mean, for months now. I mean, I
I
would
would
say
have,
most of this year, I really haven't drank heavy at all.
yeah, same. I would have thought, the little cocktail I make with the like rum and shit would have had me just like enough for me to be, sturdy in that regard, but
Mhm.
apparently not. I guess I don't put enough in there.
Yeah. Well, if it's just like a shot or less.
It's like a capful at most.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, I would have thought because it's rum it would have been harder, but I guess
Yeah.
not.
Do you use like a dark rum or a light rum?
Always light rum.
That's nice. That's nice.
Is there a difference? It's
Yeah.
all sugar, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure light rum because I was looking at the list of like alcohols that have this compound congeners in them. And basically, if it has a high amount of those, it would be more estrogenic. And light rum was one of the ones listed as lower in congeners.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
Yeah, as opposed to whiskey, which is very high, or like wine, like red
That's
wine.
why it tastes like absolute dog shit.
White wine is less high in congeners than red wine.
So hold on. What you're saying here is that the lighter the pigment of the drink, the better the effects are on a social and even biological level.
Low time preference versus high time preference alcohol.
I mean, I was kind of always on the white wine thing anyway. Red
Yeah,
wine is a, I don't know, it's just not as good.
it's just so
And
bitter.
it's always very dry.
Yeah. I was tasting some white wine. I'm like, okay, this is better.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. As a kid, I didn't
Moscato
even
or like
know Moscato is where it's at.
yeah.
That shit's like it's like juice though.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's probably like the least detrimental to drink. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you were at the tavern. Is that about it? Is that where we're wrapped up?
Pretty much because I
Yeah.
had to go to bed early that day, which
Dude,
is what made it
honestly,
worse.
honestly, like I remember I used to go to that place with a friend of mine. We would meet there like maybe a couple times a week or something like that. He'd just be like, "Yeah, you want to hit up the pub?" Or I would just be like, "You want to hit the pub?" And we'd be like, "Sure, sure." So I would walk there because well, most of the time I would walk there, just because it's like right next to where I was living at the time, and so it was pretty easy. I mean, I think maybe I might have driven there before just for the sake of it, but man, it's like I remember I remember oh yeah, because I remember I did drive there one time for some reason, I don't know, but I got pretty lit. And this was a point at which I was like, man, I have the car there. I mean, I need to take it back, And this had been a new experience for me. I will say, I'm now a qualified beverage driver, I would say, in the sense of apple juice. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Because apple juice is the preferred beverage for any driver. So I don't understand why it would be any other way. So I was very juiced, and I was like, man, yeah, I need to take this back to my place of residence. Obviously I was just a very skilled driver. Nothing happened. So, but it was just funny to me that I had done that. And it was pretty early on into doing it. Now, the funny part is I remember I had this project where unrelated to any of this, honestly, I remember, we were assigned to like a nonprofit to do like this project for, as far as like marketing or whatever. Like it was like for a nonprofit, and the chart or the cause was mothers against drunk driving. Now I don't even know how you would relate those two things together, because apple juice isn't an alcohol, but whatever, man. Whatever they say about beverage driving. Beverage drivers go to alcohola. But yeah, no, it was just funny because they were like given like these sob stories about it. I mean, obviously there have been people affected by drunk crashers, I may add, not drivers.
Correct.
And but no, there was some pretty bad stories from it. But their solution was to like, they were like, first of all, they're in favor of a 21 drinking age. Like they were like, oh yeah, we were the ones that were petitioning back in the day to get it raised from 18 to 21, or else states would have their money for highways withheld from them. Like this was a brag for them. You're the infantilization of the population is actually our designation. And so also I remember they were like, I don't know who, if somebody asked a question, obviously it's gonna be a woman, because of what ensued. But they were like discussing raising the drinking age, and they're like, well, we just don't think we could do that. Like, but it seems like they would be open if there were any sort of like willingness to do it. They'd be like, yeah, just raise it to 25 or something, and also they were talking about like basically the federal government mandating cars to be produced with I don't know if they said this was gonna like happen at a certain point, or they were just proposing it, but it sounded like it was almost like this was like an order that was going to go in effect, where it was like car companies would be mandated to create technology, or like to put technology in their vehicles which can detect if you are sober or not. So basically you can't even operate your own vehicle if it thinks you're drunk.
Well, it's a good thing we have 3D printers.
Yeah, let's just 3D print them cars. I mean, eventually that could be a thing if they get advanced enough. Unless you were talking about 3D printing something else.
Oh, I mean, wait, now I'm confused. What?
Well, you said at least we have 3D printers.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, we're not at the level where we could print a car, But we're at the
I was
level where
thinking
we
you
could print something else that they want to take away.
I was thinking you could print it piece by piece.
Okay. Well, I think eventually it might be there. No, but the point would be don't get an electric car, first of all, because did you see that one thing that guy sent us on Telegram where it's like in a video of these two electric cars hitting each other and there was just multiple explosions, like over and over, it just kept going boom, and there would be like a fire there, and a few seconds later, a boom, and it would like go into the sky, man.
No.
Dude, it was crazy. I was like, holy shit, I hope I never get hit by an electric car.
Bro, I see a Tesla on the road like every single block.
Yeah, I was like thinking like, oh yeah, Teslas are cool, man. Like look at how they prevent crashes and all that. I mean, clearly not here, but I don't know if they were Teslas or not. They could have been another electric car. But the point is like, man, if the Tesla does get in a crash, you're fucked. From the look of it, from how these things blow up like that whenever they crash. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. But
what is making it do that?
I don't know, the batteries, honestly, like something in there. I guess they're just that explosive.
You would think the gasoline car would be more flammable than an electric car.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. You would think. But man, it was just insane. I was going to say though, just based on the idea that like, first of all, oh yeah. There's another thing too. Like I don't know if they want to make it like this or if it was like actually happening. I forgot what it was, but it was something having to do with like, I think Ford, I don't remember, but basically they were going to have their cars. I can't remember which way it was, but it was like, if you don't make a car payment, your car would get taken back. Just like it would drive itself. So like, here you go. You have that, you have detecting whether you're drunk or not in your car. You have probably, I think it was Rick Ross that was saying that he wouldn't trust an electric car because it would just take you straight to the cops if it wanted to, because like you could just start. Yeah, well, of course a black man saying that, but but it's true that like if the feds were just like, yeah, let's apprehend this guy, instead of being able to get away in your car, it would. Well, of course you shouldn't be trying to get away from the feds, right? I mean, never. But
wouldn't dream of it.
Yeah, exactly. But it would take you straight to them. So I'm just saying, basically you're losing a lot of autonomy by having these cars as opposed to an older style of car, which doesn't have these technologies. So, I mean, it's not even the technology itself. It's just the fact that they own the tech, like they own not necessarily like the, all of the technology itself, but basically they own the means of producing it.
I was trying to find out what the actual, what the catch was with the electric car, and now I have it. So now I'm wary.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of my battery just dying in the middle of a highway is kind of retarded.
Oh, but bro, you could run out of gas.
Yeah, person.
Yeah, there's not an electric charging station every stop.
Oh, thank Christ, too. It's not even like, even before I had an actual genuine reason to dislike electric cars, there's just something about an electric car that seems very homosexual.
See, I was almost tricked by the Cybertrucks. I'm like, those actually, I mean, I know people are saying they look like video game, like low render cars.
They look fucking stupid.
But I was like, dude, like, look at how durable those things are. You get hit by something, those things are like impenetrable almost. So I was thinking like, man, it would be awesome to just be like invincible on the road. But then again, electric car.
I thought the same thing about like those old like 50s cars that are made out of like really heavy metals. But then somebody told me that because they're so sturdy, it actually makes the impact way worse on you.
But it's funny if you hit somebody with it.
You fucking kill them. Yeah,
I guess. Like a deer.
Well, could you survive a deer hit with that?
Like, because normally you can't, right? Depending on how fast you're going, that thing will kill you. So it's like, if you're in one of those, wouldn't you just like hit the deer and keep going?
Are you talking about the Cybertruck or the like 50s car?
No, the 50s car.
That's what I would think.
Because I know if you get in a collision yourself, then you're kind of screwed. But nowadays, it's like since the car crumbles, you're actually screwed by a deer. I'm wondering if you can just run it over and keep going.
Well, you probably have to like if you like hit it and it goes up in the air, maybe.
Yeah, that would be epic, dude.
I don't know if you could like run it over.
You just need one of those with like the really long front, that car, like those old cars.
Really long front. What do you
mean? The really long front side. Because a lot of cars today, they just have that like front where it's not like very long, like the front end of the car.
Oh, you mean the hood?
I mean, the hood is like the top part of it, but yeah, like that side of the car.
I wonder how much those cars go for these days.
Like a very long car, you know?
Oh, like a Batmobile type car where it's
Yeah. So like
ridiculously
something
long.
like I'd imagine you could hit a deer with that as long as it misses the windshield. I think you're good.
You think Bruce Wayne asked like Lucius Fox, "Can I hit a deer with this and keep going?" And he's just like, "Wait, what? Why? Sure, I guess. Why would you want? Just don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine."
Yeah.
Point is, I need a car like that
Have you
where I
seen
can
the
just
one
kind
where
of
it's like he's telling Alfred to get the bathtub ready, and Alfred's like, "What's a tub?
what?
Get the bathtub ready. What's a tub?"
I what? I don't. I'm not getting what's
Spell
happening here.
bathtub.
Bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Like the bat signal, the Batmobile.
That. Wow. I can't even really blame you for that. That's already like canon. They did that.
What? They did that.
Well, they didn't do bathtub or
Oh.
bat, but they do the whole like bat everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
do you
Well,
think they have bat
anyway,
condoms?
so Trump got shot in the ear.
Oh, you just right over it.
What?
I was asking, do you think he has bat condoms?
So like how small are they? If they're gonna fit
What
a
is?
bat.
Wait. Jesus. I mean, wouldn't that just be bat size at that point? It's an easy
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. No, do you remember I remember seeing something like there was the first condoms, I don't know how true it is. Apparently the first condoms were like the size of a cigarette.
I've never heard anything like
I
that,
heard
but I've
something
also
like that
never
from
come.
somebody. But I don't know how much I believe that. You
That
would
doesn't
think
sound
like with the
right.
drop in testosterone levels, I don't think penises are just getting bigger over time, right?
No, they can't be.
I know. It's like that wouldn't make much sense. I would think that, they weren't like dramatically smaller. I used to think that made sense because I'm like, oh, well, humans just get like bigger in every way, like height, dicks, like all of it just kind of gets like, we get more over time with evolution. I mean, then again, how would you even like evolve that quick? That doesn't make sense. In the time that condoms were made till now,
Yeah, that doesn't really add up.
it doesn't add up. How would penises grow that dramatically unless there was some sort of significant androgenic, something that was like creating more androgens or causing more production of it? But
Which
that's just not the case. That's
definitely,
not true.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
If anything, it's the opposite.
yeah, it is. It's
I was gonna
hard to even
say,
have like a good testosterone anymore. You have to be very particular about what you do.
I was gonna say, but I was thinking about this too. Before condoms and birth control, did people just kind of like pray? Is that
Yeah,
what happens?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I would think they just had kids.
Yeah, like, if it's your wife, but
People
if you
used to
got a
just have kids like
mistress,
that. I mean, maybe pull out. I don't know.
I guess the pullout game is eternal.
The pullout game was strong back then. When do you think people started pulling out? Because I know cavemen, they just did it, right? It's not like they just intentionally pulled out.
I mean, I wouldn't think they would have the same capabilities of understanding pleasure the same way to think of even doing that.
When
Or
did it
well,
happen, though? I mean, do you think like the Greeks did it?
I feel like the Greeks would have. Well, actually, wait. Well, that wasn't really a pullout, but there was a myth of Hephaestus. He would go to no, he would like build weapons for the gods. So Athena went over to Hephaestus to get like some kind of weapon or whatever, and he's such a coomer that he tried to rape her, and he failed. Shit, he tried to
Yeah.
fuck, whatever. I already said it. He tried to essay her, and what happened was she fought him off, and he just he finished on her leg, and then so she like swiped it to the ground
He
and out of the
put on
ground.
my leg. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
You know, it's like that incident. I didn't even like think it was funny what happened there, like when it happened, because you know it's some black guy nutting on a chick's leg. But the fact that like this is like equivalent to that is just it's funny to me.
It's a tale as old as time.
Exactly, it's like there's historical precedent for it. I think this black man that did that to her, he must have been reading this tale.
He's like, I can do that.
He's like,
Oh,
I don't
shit.
even have to SA her before I nut on the leg.
But yeah,
I can just go straight for that part.
if you can miss, I guess the idea of pulling out would have to follow.
So you think that's kind of where, like, do you think they already knew about it, or do you think that's kind of like something that they drew a conclusion from in telling this tale?
I guess they would have to. Well, yeah, because like once she I don't know how she wiped it off her leg or something, and it went to the ground, and out of the ground came like a new like demigod or whatever.
Who wrote this?
I don't know.
That is
Greek
some
guy.
freaky Wattpad shit, you know?
And you know, she felt bad too, so she like adopted him. Whatever. I mean, it's a ground baby.
Came up from the mud.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I have a friend who's having a kid.
You do?
Yeah, but he's having a girl.
Wait, is it somebody I know?
I don't think you know him directly. I may have mentioned him before.
Oh, okay.
He wanted a boy. But you know, you can get that.
How disappointed was he?
He wasn't like crazy disappointed about it, but I could tell he was like, man, I really wanted a son.
He's not like walking around late at night in the city while it's raining with a cigarette, just looking down.
No, but you know, he may ponder. He may look into the sunset and be like, yeah, things could have been different.
I really got to memorize that baking soda thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's different things you can do. I know that one guy that was talking to us, he was mentioning stuff he was doing, like ice pack to the nuts. Dude, I mean, I think that makes sense. Like, I mean, it's not just because of like any sort of testosterone that would come from it. It's just he was talking about like basically like the swimmers that aren't affected as much by it are honestly like for some reason that's how male sperm cells work versus like the ones that'll turn out to be female. That kind of I get what he's talking about there.
That just like, sounds so inconvenient though.
I might have to do that.
Well, don't do it now. Wait till
well, like he did talk about testosterone benefits. Though I'm not exactly sure. I would want to ask him more about even why he did that for the testosterone, if he was just doing that for it, or like plus the other guy he was telling to do it because of that. Because it's like if you look into any other way in which you're like causing that level of cold to be touching the body, like doesn't it make way more sense that this is causing a stress response? Like how would it be that the nuts? I mean, I know the nuts like actually hang because they're supposed to be like, you know, they need to be actually slightly cooler than the body, right? So maybe there might be something there with that versus the body itself. But you know, cold plunges aren't good for you. They're going to cause like way too much of a stress increase. They're going to probably cause the same as being in cold weather, which cold weather actually like living in it does cause more of a retention of unsaturated fat as opposed to saturated in the way your body composition works. So I mean, even like you know, other like I guess any sort of like putting the body like a face like in cold like ice water would be similar to a cold plunge. I don't know if there's something special about the nuts, but it just I would want to know why he thinks that this is any different.
It sounded like he was pretty convinced too.
Yeah, exactly. See, I've tried texting him, but he doesn't respond consistently. And ever since we had to remove him from a certain location, it's just, you know, it's hard to get a hold of him.
I was going to ask if you're still in contact with him.
I've tried texting him. He only responds sometimes. So I might try texting him about this, see if he responds. Because like I was asking him, because he's also like lowered his glasses prescription by just incrementally wearing like less of a strong prescription. So I was asking him where he was getting the glasses for a good price, but he didn't respond. I was asking him about thyroid, like as far as like T3 versus T4, like not really just the difference or anything, but just more so like figuring out dosages. But yeah, he hasn't really responded to that. The guy that we know that knows him or that, introduced him to us, he, I don't know if he talks to him he probably talks to him more than I'm able to. Seems like. Yeah. But he does tell me that he's also not completely consistent with him either.
I mean,
he's a busy man.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So anyway, Trump got shot in the ear.
Yeah. I actually saw the video because that one guy posted it in that server.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Trump was like presenting something about migrants. He had like some sort of presentation. And so like the shooter was like on a roof, like pointing the gun at him. And he was like shooting. And as he was beginning to shoot, like Trump like turns his head at the exact moment in order to only have it hit his ear, like graze it, and just cause like that to be the only place he was even hit by it. Had he not done that, there was like this graph they were showing like where it would have hit. It would have hit the back of his head and killed him.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was saved by
Please don't. Come on.
a certain spirit.
I saw one where Shinzo.
Yeah, Shinzo was the one that saved him. Sure, that guy saved him. Okay. I know. I liked how you knew where I was going with it.
Yeah, I've seen enough memes.
The spirit of Christmas.
Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
It come with nice list.
The most Hyperborean Trump has ever been.
Somebody should have put that Juice WRLD remix on that video when he popped up. The one with like the arpeggios and shit.
Which one's that?
The one they use in all the Hyperborean ones.
Goddamn.
I think so, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That one goes hard.
It kind of does.
I like that one. Yeah. Bro, just because I've seen it in those edits, I think. But honestly, like, yeah, no, it's I so like that. Like, it seems like there are songs where like I wouldn't have really listened to them before, but once I start seeing them in these edits, it's like they gain some sort of essence, Am I right?
Yeah.
It's like I started wanting to listen to them more.
A spirit, one could say.
Yeah. That Erica hard bass.
It wasn't even hard boss either.
Hard boss.
Yeah, it's Slavic. You got to say boss.
Boss.
Actually, it's hard boss.
Well, anyway, what it was good. So, so what did you think of this event that happened? You saw the one Secret Service agent lady that was like 5 feet away from him, whereas the other ones were like right on him.
No.
There was one chick. Apparently there was like transcripts from it where it was like, I mean, I just saw somebody post this on Twitter, like where there were transcripts from it, like where she's like, what's going on? What is this happening? What are we doing? And the other ones are just like saying like, yeah, get on him, like get down. Like she was the one that was confused apparently.
Okay, hold on. Let me preface this. We are an equal opportunity podcast, and we all why the fuck is a woman in the Secret Service? Like, does nobody else see that as maybe potentially a conflict that could arise?
There was this one picture because they show how far she was standing from him, according like based on her versus the other guys, and they put like this line between her and Trump and the other Secret Service agents where it says wage gap.
I saw that. Yeah. I didn't know what that was at first. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's weird to me how, for literally all of history, it's always been save the women and children first. And now it's like, well, let's put them in literally in the line of a bullet. Why not?
No, that makes so much sense. Can't you see? Because they're equal. They were unequal when we did that back then.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So I think we need to make the children equal too. And I actually think we should recruit children to the Secret Service.
Well, there are people that have ideas like that, except they're not talking about Secret Service.
Well, a sort of Secret Service, actually, if you're Diddy.
Five Nights at Diddy's.
Oh, I have a short I want to pull up. Hold on.
Oh,
I have an
base.
idea. An idea that it's a YouTube video. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can. I should have probably prefaced that a little bit later because I need to pull it up now. All right. Hold on.
Pulling up, not pulling out.
No, because pulling out, that takes a lot more skill than pulling up, actually. Well, actually, does it?
I was going to say, I don't think it does.
How much does it take to pull up versus pull out?
It seems
how many
pretty,
pull-ups can you do versus how many pull-outs can you do?
I think anybody can do a pull-out, but a pull-up...
But how many in a row?
That depends on how much progesterone they're taking.
It's this one.
My name is Diddy. And I'm non-binary. My pronouns are she, they.
I'd be crying too if my name was Diddy.
Yeah.
Why? Who names their kid Diddy?
I feel like that's one that they picked for themselves.
Why would
in
she
order
pick
to
that
have
then?
a gender neutral name?
Is it it's not though. He made it a non.
Well, Diddy's fruity, so it's
That's also true.
That's why it's very androgynous. Diddy, you see him in that wig? It's an androgynous name now. You know, come on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he did it.
He did it.
I think everybody universally is kind of like, yeah, he did it at this point.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to 50 Cent, just constantly going up against him, it seems. He was like a prophet almost.
Many men.
Oh, yeah. What does this say about the election, though?
Yeah, well, when I first saw that, I was like, Trump just won.
I also thought the same thing.
I mean, it was already, I already said that when I saw the debate, like him versus Biden, I'm like, Trump won. Then I saw this and I'm like, okay, well, Trump just definitely won. It's like, it was just 2 hits in a row, unlike the shooter, where it was like, man, yeah, this guy really secured it. But did you see that he picked JD Vance as his vice president?
I have no idea who that is, besides the fact that I've been recently informed that he's married to an Indian woman. So that's unexpected.
Well, so a few things about this. Yeah, he does have a kid named Vivek. So Trump didn't pick Vivek as his vice president, but he did pick a guy with a kid named Vivek. I was close. I did think he'd pick a Vivek type, and it's actually not that far off, just because, okay, so, as far as a certain land abroad, all the candidates are in favor of certain things, I'm talking about Ukraine, of course. But the thing here is that Mr. Vance, he was originally more like an anti-Trump guy. And then over time, I mean, some people say it was like quicker than expected for what you would normally change your views regarding. But basically, he's become like an America First kind of candidate. He won the I think it was the Ohio Senate election back in 2022, like the midterms. So he's only been in the Senate for a couple of years. He doesn't even have he's like 30, I don't know if it's 37, 36, 37. The guy's young. So first of all, I mean, kind of appeals more to that Gen Z type. He is kind of like more as well appealing to like the rural types, like the country types, I guess, just because of I guess I don't know if it's because what he talks about, but I've heard this is kind of like the person he would appeal to, like that those demographics. Not the suburban white women, but he's like more of like an America First type. He's not like the, what they would consider to be Republican name only, as they call them, or, whatever, like the Rhino or whatever establishment as they call them. So he's like more on like the Trump train. It is a difference in the pick between like Mike Pence, where Pence was like more of that, they wanted more of like the neoconservative kind of like, oh, well, this guy's going to appeal to what the party traditionally has voted for, whereas Trump is like different than that. Now it's just all like, I mean, pretty much as I predicted it would be more like this, where it was like supposed to be like now somebody that is less like that and more like Trump. And so, but the thing is, surprisingly, not even surprisingly, but I guess just if you were taking it from the perspective of like how Trump has been reacted to in the past by like, let's say Ben Shapiro or people from the Daily Wire versus other Republicans, you would think that like they're not necessarily just going to go like flocking to him like in favor of Vance as a pick, but they are. Like Ben Shapiro is very supportive of it. Michael Knowles, they're like really supportive of this pick. So it's like, I mean, obviously it has to do with a certain territory abroad.
As to why those Russians out.
Yeah, exactly.
Those naughty Russians out the Ukraine.
We're of course talking about the Ukrainians. Who else could we talk about? But Ben Shapiro, who of course has such a vested interest in Ukraine, is definitely picking Vance as a good pick because of that, right? But yeah, I mean, it just like this didn't seem, honestly, this seems like, as far as the people who are in the, like, let's say already in the Trump camp, or people who are looking for like maybe skeptical of Trump, but were like, oh man, like he needs to pick somebody that isn't like these shills, like for whatever, that appeals to those people. Though the other groups of voters, I don't necessarily see how that appeals to them. So like, if anything, even though Trump did very well in that debate with Biden, I mean, he did, it's just that Biden did poorly, honestly. It's not that Trump on it, because honestly, I don't think Trump was like just this wrecker in that debate. I think the thing is like, Trump honestly dodged the questions at certain points and he didn't get exactly to them. There were certain times where he actually did answer them properly. I think like when it came to the January 6th stuff, he was actually starting to be really good on it. As far as like how he was answering it strategically, because he was starting to talk about how like Nancy Pelosi was rejecting Capitol Police, like extra, like additional security. And he was saying like people were being let in. Like he was talking about that kind of stuff, and that isn't something that has been brought up a lot. So, I mean, strategically, Trump did like well on those questions. There were some where it was like he seemed like he was dodging it or dancing around or not really addressing it as forward as he should, especially when it comes to the point where like he may be addressing something that has to do with that in some way, but he's not necessarily drawing that connection for the people that aren't paying attention to politics, whereas the point where they'd say like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. So, it was a bit mixed, but Biden just did so terrible that Trump just looked good in comparison, because Biden had his mouth open every time Trump was talking, didn't know where he was. And then like when he came back to talk, he would stumble a lot. And as of late, Biden's been calling Trump his vice president. So, there's all that. And again, Trump, I mean, now people will say Trump took a bullet for the country. He went to jail. Like he doesn't have dementia. Like, all these qualifying candidate or these qualifying,
he's hood certified.
Qualifications for a president. Yeah, hood certified. He's not out of his mind. So obviously, I would say like these things have been going in his favor. I just don't know that JD Vance would be somebody that necessarily does that for a general voting population. But I guess it kind of just like depends on whether or not people even pay attention to or care about who JD Vance even is.
I was gonna say I don't think a lot of people would, because I don't.
Yeah.
Well, granted.
I think I mean, maybe it'll matter depending on how well, first of all, how not even the debate between him and Kamala, because I mean, first of all, that's something to pay attention to, because that's when people see and like they'll have their eyes on JD.
But the thing is so immensely unlikable.
The thing is, JD is not a bad debater. Kamala is. Like Kamala didn't even do it good against Mike Pence. Like she was terrible.
It was
honestly,
awful.
I perceive JD Vance actually doing well in those debates if he can back up statements he's made. The problem is the statements he's made are probably not going to be incredibly popular with voters. I mean, first of all, he has said bad things about Trump in the past. Like he previously, like years ago, has called Trump like Hitler, basically. I don't know if I can even say it in reference to that. But also just even recent statements, JD Vance is very anti-abortion. He wants like to pass, even though Trump doesn't want to pass a national ban, JD Vance does want to pass a national ban. JD Vance is not in favor of even, abortion when it comes to certain instances of SA or where, I mean, honestly, I don't know why incest is necessarily another category, because either it is SA as well or it's not. So I don't know. I mean, like, unless you're just saying like the baby's so deformed, that's why you want to get rid of it. But
separate category.
I don't really see why it has to be a separate category, because usually the implication like people are trying to make sometimes is that it's SA. Like that's the thing. Like you're either making the implication that this was a forced carriage and therefore that's why it's, it should be up to the woman, which at that point it falls under the SA category, or you're saying that the baby is going to be so deformed that it doesn't deserve to live, which, if you're somebody that, doesn't really view it at a certain point as like the same, like having the same rights or same, like being a living being in the same way as a human until a certain time. Okay. But if you're on like somebody who is already against abortion, it doesn't really work as an argument toward that person, or that person like perceiving it within their own internal framework, because that person would be like, well, it's still a life. And JD Vance actually did make the statement that two wrongs don't make a right. So, I mean, first of all, that's a very controversial statement.
But three lefts make a right.
Yeah, that's true. So just make it wrong one more time, So, but anyway, here's the thing. So JD Vance is going to have, I would say, like, not necessarily the odds stacked in his favor when it comes to what the Democrats can do as far as how they advertise about him. Because like the problem is that they're going to be playing some of the stuff he said about Trump in the past, probably. I mean, if they have any minds, they would, because that's obviously what they're going to want to do. Right. I mean, they're going to try and like get him on the abortion stuff that he's been talking about. I mean, I would think those are like the most controversial aspects of him. I can't remember if there was like other stuff. He might've said some other things that may not fall as well on the general voting population, but I think these things specifically are probably going to not come to his benefit. Oh yeah, I mean, I guess he has talked about like some replacement stuff, like white replacement, though he is married to an Indian, so I don't really understand what his point would even be there, honestly. That's like the weirdest part to me. It's like, okay, well, if you're talking about like replacement, right? Well, you're kind of doing the work there too for him, buddy.
I saw one Twitter thing where it's like, where he stands politically based on the fact that his wife is not white. If you're catching my drift.
It's just, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, but you see it so often. Like
but
all the time.
I get that, but the Indian part of it, it's like I can understand an Asian, like an East Asian, even if you had this replacement, like, idea. I could understand an East Asian. I could understand a Latina. There are a few other ones that I can't understand.
Latinos are basically white, depending
on
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. So like, it's like, I mean, I can't understand this with an Indian. I can't understand your consistency there. And naming your kid Vivek, I mean, not even the fact that your kid's Indian, the fact that you named him Vivek, that I would say plays even more into the idea that it's like, okay, buddy, now it's like, now you're seriously just off the rails of what you were talking about before with this one.
Jesus. Wait, hold on. I'm reading his wiki. He said apparently recently stated his position that abortion legislation should be left to the states and believes in exceptions for incest. Yeah, we can say
because
that.
I don't know if he switched his position on that just recently, but it might have been just a year ago. If I remember correctly, that he was making those like contrary statements.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, because he's with Trump now, he's like, well, can't be saying that now.
Yeah, I mean, they're just gonna clean him up like Drake cleaned up that one woman when he had Adonis.
I'm not that well versed in the.
Drake had a child with an actress of adult nature.
He did?
Yes, that is where his son came from.
Who?
Drake, his son. That's where his son came from.
The actress?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know her name, but he did. Let's see.
He made it sound like it was some big name.
I'm just saying he had to clean her up because she was, I mean, regardless, there were men looking at her, in that manner. Sophie Bruzeau?
Okay.
Okay. So
sounds French.
Is there a way to find her Pornhub rating without looking on Pornhub?
You would think there would be, right? Like a wiki or something.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to look up her profile just for research purposes to know what her ranking is. Well, we need to know about her popularity, man. Come on.
My boy Drizzy couldn't even do a top 1%.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, Drizzy. Why is her story? Her bio says artist on is a painter, former model, and the mother of Drake's son. Well, they really cleaned her up for that.
On what, Twitter?
Just like this summary that I'm reading about her. I think that's Wiki.
Oh.
Oh. Well, it might be because I think this is like, because I'm looking it up on Safari. It might be like an AI written one, and that's why they're not putting specific things about her.
Ah.
All right, let me look her up. God damn it, I wanted to see her profile, not videos of her. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's see.
Damn, she's like Indian.
I can't find her profile. I just see this this video, Bang Bros Pog with big tits, Sophie D taking the D. That's not Sophie Brazo. It's like, where did she go?
This isn't what I'm looking for.
This is not what I'm looking for. I'll have to save that for later. Okay, so let's see. Is she not even on Pornhub? Like, how does that work?
I don't know. It's the hub. You can't not have her there.
Yeah. FreakyGirlsRoom.com.
Jesus Christ.
No, I just can't find a profile for her. Was conceived in Drake's child with Sophie Brazo was conceived in a threesome with another big rapper. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Drake. Wait a minute. That is, bro is having threesomes with men. Well, we should have known that.
Yeah.
Somebody posted a picture of ASAP Rocky in the comments. Flacco hit first son. Baby mother looks like Quentin Tarantino. Spooky.
Nigga's fruity.
Let's see. Drake baby. See, somebody put Drake baby mother next to her video title. It's like Sophie Brazo, Drake baby mother, and it's like her shaking her ass. They wanted people to look that up.
Is that supposed to be like a turn on?
Yo, what the fuck? One of these comments, like, oh, okay. Like they put Pusha T in the tags and added on. Let's see.
I don't even know who that is, actually.
Let's look at Quora. Drake's baby mama is a French painter who used to act in adult movies under the alias Rosie Divine. Okay, so that's why we can't find her, because she had a name, Rosie Divine. That makes a lot more sense.
The porn star names are always kind of mid. It's like somebody writing a novel, but he doesn't know anything about subtlety, so just...
Her videos still don't show up here.
How old is she?
Weird. I don't know.
Maybe she's like older. She predates the hub.
I'm trying to find some sort of profile for her so I can see if she has any sort of like prominence. Is she just like not known? Hold on. There's a model page on X videos. Oh, I couldn't get there. It didn't let me. It says number 19,514.
That's pretty.
I can't look at the profile too much. It doesn't let me. It says, yeah. See, it tries to get me to go to another page, but it says she has 23.1 million views, 66,000 subscribed. Profile hits 4,191,000. Signed up in 2017. Last activity 21 days ago.
Are there any videos or anything? Is she actually posting stuff, or is it just...
I can't see anything on there. It says videos 26, but I can't get in.
Okay, I will take the word for it, I guess.
But anyway, if 2017 was like when she was like, I don't know if she was starting at that point or if that's when she just opened that page, but I mean, Drake had the kid in like 2018.
You saying he's poaching her?
Drake was, maybe he was trying to get her early before she really got big. He's like, yeah, I want this one. But I don't want her like when she's like really popular. Like I don't want no like Riley Reid.
I don't think anybody wants a Riley Reid.
Homebred fuck niggas.
You should pull that up, actually.
Oh yeah, let's watch that. Nigga, run it back. I wonder if we can. I mean, I don't think there's copyright, but if there is, we'll just have to get rid of it. But here, I'll play it for us.
Oh man.
I don't know what inspired her to do that. Wait, what? Hold on. Before I sucked the Uber driver. What? Was she like that strapped for cash?
Isn't she like the name?
Huh?
Isn't she like the star in the industry?
I think she quit. No. Didn't she have a kid?
Know. Well, I mean, you would think that would make somebody stop, but I mean,
I thought she had a kid and then said she regretted doing it.
Yeah, but then I heard that she did other stuff too.
Let's see. Daily Mail in May 21st, 2023. I earned millions doing PORN, but my adult. Oh my god! It wants me to allow ads. I earned millions from doing adult films, but my adult film career ruined my life. X-rated star lays bare bitter reality of the job, revealing she is shamed over it every day and even lost her whole family because of her risque work.
I mean, how would you not know that's going to happen?
Yeah, well, she, I mean, I'd imagine she probably stopped doing it if that's the case now. But I don't know. I probably can't like just assume that from it.
If you had like a daughter or whatever and she did that and then she stopped, would it all be fine then? Or would
it wouldn't all be fine. It would be better, but it wouldn't all be fine. If she really wanted to turn her life around, like, I mean, that's my daughter. It's like, you know, I'd try to help her through it, but it's not like I'd continue to support her if she was doing it. You know what I mean? And it's not like it would all be the same after. It's not like, you know, I would see her as the exact same person, but, you know, it's not like I would abandon her over it. I mean, if she did sincerely regret it, it's not like I'm trying to marry her or something and she's my daughter, you know? It's not like I have to worry about that as far as like a relationship.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if it was like a woman that was like, I used to do porn, I regret it. Will you go out with me? I'm like, hell no. You know,
hell no.
Hell no. Hell no. You know, who invited this nigga? You know, it's like, but if it was like my daughter, then that's different, right? It's, you know, it's like, you know, you're trying to help family.
Yeah, I guess.
Ride face, put that water on your mustache. Porno swag, 100 G's, Louis duffel bag. Paying pussy, make that dick have a heart attack. Who that is? Riley Reid with my booty fat.
I forgot who I showed this to. Who was it that I showed this to? Somebody was like talking about how like she doesn't even have any tits. Like she's like flat.
She really doesn't.
Who was telling me this? Who was I showing this to? I was it wasn't the friend I saw yesterday. It was somebody else. Man. Oh, I remember. It was the guy that knows the other guy that we were talking about earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
The gym guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I was showing him this for the first, he hadn't seen this and he was like laughing his ass off at this. But he was talking about how she's not even like well built at all, like for like to be an adult actress.
She really isn't.
I mean, there are people that are into this body type.
I don't understand it because like a lot of them were like that. You know that one? There was one that was popular like a long time ago where she looked basically, it was like really sus.
Yeah.
But she was like one of the big names in the industry. I forgot what her name was.
See, the thing is, I'm not even like, okay, like if there were a guy going out with a woman that, you know, ignoring who Riley Reid is, if there was a guy going out with a woman who was built like this, I'd be like, or if I was going out with a woman that would built like this, it's not like it's like, oh man, like she has, you know, it's so terrible because like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like there are other picks you could make as far as body composition, but I think it's different when you're actually like, you know, going to sit down and looking for something to indulge in. Maybe it's just because you like variety. I don't know. Maybe it's you just want so much variety that you need different body types and all that. But it's just, I don't think that, you know, I wouldn't imagine that most guys would be looking for a body in one of those films and think this is the one that they want to see exactly, you know?
It raises a few eyebrows.
Yeah, like I think being with a woman, I mean, she's a woman, so it's not like, and she doesn't have nothing. So it's not like it's like strange for a guy to be with her, but for a guy to be actively searching for videos where a woman's built like that, it's like, okay, these are two different things.
I'm just gonna say it. She's not Asian, bro.
Let's eat less swag. Porno cam, damn. Pimp that bitch. Women and the men. Got the money out the flick. Headed to the
Pause. She said women and the men.
trap. Pussy getting so wet from the money stack. Triple stack, bitch. We clean out 100-pack. You ain't heard what I said, nigga. Run it back. Maga hoe, maga nigga with a trick. Hit a lick. One of pussy ass cornbread. Fuck niggas.
She just went for 3 for 3 on that one.
You can go 3 for 3.
County, yeah, we know for getting rowdy. Spit stringing from my mouth, but you fuck my face. Good nutritious nut on deck,
What?
nigga. Eat me out, nigga. Eat me out, nigga. Beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it.
She's just
There
like,
was so many of.
that's just the end of her bars every time. Who inspired her to do this?
That's a great question, actually. You think like one of the producers is like, "Hey, we know that you really want to do like the whole adult content thing, but hear us out here. What about a rap?"
You remember the South Park episode where like it was like cop drama and they said shit for the first time?
Yeah.
And then they all watched it. And they're like, yo, like, but it was like at the end where it was like, hey, by the way, you got a little shit on your face. It's like, oh, I do. But then at the end, it's like everybody's like freaking out about it. And then the guy's like, now, tonight on cop drama, we're going to say shit twice. And the guy's like, it's like you're saying it, but double. So basically, I'm pretty sure they were like, yeah, you just need to say it like that. I'm sure, if you just start like, and I mean, by the end of the South Park episode, they just start replacing all the dialogue with shit. I mean, that's kind of where it's getting here.
It's like a counter at the bottom left-hand corner too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they were like shitty shit, like in the last version of it. By the time the dragon popped out. So, the thing is here, it's like, I'm sure they were just like trying to, like, they had that exact executive here telling Riley Reid what to do, honestly.
We're going to have you say it. Just say it a bunch of times confidently and you'll be fine.
You ain't heard what I said, nigga. Run it back.
It out, drink it out, beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it out, beat it out.
Those ad libs. Did you hear that guy was like, damn, baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Adultempire.com. Yo, why is there a black guy reacting to it? What did she say?
Why did you?
Who's this? Oh. Let's
Wait,
see.
who was that?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Sound like a musician?
Yeah, she does music now. I think she was like on Disney back in the day.
They won't ever stop. Yo, is that the teacher in the corner there?
Yeah.
Step away from the door.
And this one, rapping for Jesus. Jesus Christ is my nigga.
That's a classic.
Yeah. What's this one? Pasha on what it's like being married to right. We gotta watch this one.
Oh no! Wait,
We're gonna watch a
is that an
professional
Indian
cup.
guy?
That's a good question.
So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I didn't
Oh, you're getting fucked, bro.
mention this yet, but I actually went to your wedding.
I know. I remember you.
Oh, it's Adam Jumper interview. Yeah, I see. Adam 22.
Yeah.
Whoops, I meant Adam
This makes
22 of
sense.
No Jumper. Yeah, but this makes so much more sense now.
Did you see that one clip where he was on whatever podcast with Satan Sinner?
No.
Well, basically, he left the podcast within like 30 minutes or something like that because the one guy was like pressing him on. Yeah, I know, like you're trying to cope and like make it seem like it's okay, but deep down, you really know it's disgusting. What you're doing is a fucking shame. It was so funny, but after a while, he just got up and left, and then like all the girls got pissed off because what he was saying too. He like just called it out. I know you're upset that he left because now your clout's gone, but we can keep having the show. And oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Now, what's the real shame is this guy's wearing a Red Bull beanie. Bro, Red Bull is a base drink, actually. It has baking soda. It has sugar. It has B vitamins, like niacin, B12, like vitamin B6, man. Like Red Bull is actually a pretty base, like when you think about it, drink. Here he is wearing this hat. It's a shame. It's a shame. Don't sponsor this man.
So you're saying I should be doing Jaeger bombs?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
I would.
You vlog from there. I watched the vlog.
And actually, yeah, I mean, it probably is better when you're drinking to have all that. Like, I feel like that would be very supportive of like if you were to already be drinking to take that. Yeah, I think that would help.
Am I able to bring like a flask into a bar or,
No.
or something like that?
They're
That'd
gonna
be
think
great.
you're drugging chicks.
Oh yeah, that's not good. I was gonna say you just have some sugar water in there and you're good.
Yeah. Or some coconut water with sugar.
Or that.
'Cause then you get the magnesium, the potassium, dude. That's gonna help you a lot with those.
Well,
elements.
basically, that's what I have now. It's just like pour some coconut oil in there and then sugar and like orange stuff, and it's great.
Well, the coconut water has the electrolytes, so it's like,
Well,
yeah.
salt.
But the orange
and
juice
salt.
helps too because that actually does have potassium as well.
That's true.
So actually, you're kind of, and also the orange juice. I mean, because of the vitamin C. I mean, so does coconut water, but orange juice has the vitamin C, which is lowering the cortisol.
Bro, I'm so based. I didn't even know.
But that's the thing. You got to get like, I mean, maybe like a screwdriver or like a rum pineapple. Like drinks like that are gonna help.
I fucking hate screwdrivers.
Bro, but vodka's low congener. The orange juice has vitamin C. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah, but isn't vodka usually made from grains?
I thought it was potatoes.
So traditionally, yes, but most of the brands are grains from what I recall.
Okay, a potato vodka with orange juice.
Why not just make it a screwdriver of rum?
It's not really a screwdriver, is it?
Yeah, but it's better than a screwdriver.
But you know, honestly, that's not such a bad drink either. Like imagine a like Malibu with orange juice. Dude,
That actually sounds pretty nice.
Dude, I kind of want that now. Like the coconut flavor, the rum, the orange juice.
That's fucking
actually pretty
great.
based. That's pretty based. Rum and OJ. Dude, imagine
Well, I know
asking
what
for
I'm
that.
asking. Yep. Next time I go to the what is that, third temple or whatever?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
Like,
what
do they
that's
have orange juice there? Because I know they do have it at some places. Like, even on that street, I just don't know if that place had orange juice.
I know
we
the
went to.
one place we went to after. That's where you guys got the screwdrivers.
We went to we got screwdrivers at the one where it was like free drinks as well, and that's it encouraged us to go in. Yeah, that place was pretty good. I think.
Was that the no? That was a different one. That's not the main place I'm thinking of.
No.
What was
Well,
that
that
place
was
called?
that was near the other place that we usually like. You know, the Holy Land.
Yeah, no. I know the Holy Land. I was talking about the one that like it's like the place people go to. We only went there once, but I thought that was
Is that
first
the
time.
place people go to?
Oh yeah.
no. You're thinking. Oh, I know what you're thinking about. You're talking about the time we went out and got that like the green tea shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that other place we went to before where they were like free drinks until a certain time.
I gotta figure out.
Did we get
how
screwdrivers at the other place that you were talking about?
No. And if we did, I don't remember.
I was gonna say if we did, I do not remember. Dude, that was crazy. I think I was the one that was most in it that night, though. Like, you know, because
There's no way. There's no way.
because the other guy was just, dude, he blacked out from like the time we were from one place to another.
Oh wait, when you say in it, what do you mean?
No, I mean I'm the one that was like most cognizant of what was even going on for the most part.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, even though I was like pretty much pacing with you guys, it's just, dude, the other guy was so out of it. You were starting to get out of it. I was still there, which I'm surprised because it's like, dude, I also drank a lot. It's like, that's crazy. But yeah, I would not be able to do that right now. I have to work my way back up
Bro, that'd be like
to get there.
3 drinks and you're out.
Yeah.
At least for
You
me
know-
right now.
You know, Georgie was talking about, like, I remember seeing this, like somebody mentioned this about him, that he was saying like, I forgot how much vodka he said he could drink, but like he was taking some sort of aromatase inhibitor, which basically like it's blocking the estrogen. He was talking about drinking an insane amount of vodka, like some bottles worth or something after the fact. It's like, dude, that's fucking nuts.
Jesus.
I mean, first of all, I mean, he's Eastern European. So, I mean, of course he can do that. But I need to look up the amount he was talking about drinking, honestly, because people weren't even believing that he could drink that much. Like, they're like, that's just not even doable. Like, how could you do that? Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I think I should be able to, because I think it was on the Peat subreddit.
Oh, the Reddit. I wonder if you could hear that.
Oh, see, look at this. So if he takes less than a quarter pill of an aromatase inhibitor, he says he can drink 2 liters of vodka.
Holy shit.
Bro, I don't know how that's even like, okay.
I don't even know how you would do that just from a taste perspective. Like that shit,
Yeah.
it hurts, like taste wise. Well, granted, he is Eastern European, so maybe that's a.
Oh, apparently Georgie got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Like at this point of the, I'm reading on the post because somebody's commenting like, because like somebody was asking if it was like too late for him to recover from what he was having. But this guy who was talking about it says it was probably due to the crazy keto diet and brutal exercise he was doing. But he has also had an incredibly stressed life. He not had, but he has. He's working 2 jobs, working as a contractor for the government while running a busy supplement and research chemical company in America and Bulgaria. Let's see. He also has a family, which he says he is the only person that brings bread to his family. So if he is the only person making money for his family, I imagine he has to work very hard on top of his family. He has to care for. I imagine he can't look after his health the best when he has like 10 other things that he prioritizes to keep his life in order. And for some reason, he doesn't take many supplements despite him owning a supplement company, which I imagine would counteract the stress somewhat. And finally, even though his career got started from him trying to improve his health, I don't think he cares too much about it as much anymore. Okay. That's a pretty good explanation for why he's like that. I mean, he's obviously putting a lot of things before his direct like trying to treat some of his issues. I mean, as far as like at least the apparent ones, like being overweight, balding and such. I mean, I don't think it's too hard to like fix the balding part because even Pete and Georgie knows about this too. Like you can put topical T3 on your head and that'll help. You could do like DHEA and progesterone and like olive oil, or you could do like caffeine. Like those things help. So I don't know. Maybe he's just not too worried about it.
I guess, but you would think if it's getting to that point that you'd want to do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like these things could help him. And it's even so, I mean, apparently he's not even taking that many supplements. I've tried a lot of the Idea Lab supplements. I'd say they're good. Like I've tried them. I mean, like depending on what you want to use them for, they could be really helpful. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of them I use like topically. But I don't know.
Strange.
Right. And so for those who don't know, you are married now. Yeah, you were married. It was
married.
a wedding. To Riley Reid. How did you guys meet?
Ashley Matthews.
Okay.
Wait,
She asked me.
married? Like right now or what? Hold on. Let me see that again.
The vlog.
Right. And so for those who don't know, you are married now. Yeah, you were married. It was a wedding. To Riley Reid. How did you guys meet?
Ashley Matthews.
Okay.
She asked me to call her Ashley Matthews.
Okay. So you
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't.
What is this nigga saying?
I could not tell what he
Well,
was
speak
saying.
into the mic, little nigga.
Actually,
Nigga, run that bag.
Petkins, actually, if anything.
Oh, right. There you
She's
go.
having my last name now.
So you never call her Riley.
No, never.
Okay. But how did you guys meet?
Instagram.
Wait, what do you mean you never call her Riley? Like, is that her name?
I would assume it's a stage name.
Okay.
Right. You
Yeah.
slid in her DMs?
She slid in mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Saying what?
It was pretty great. I posted about this book, Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she's like, oh, it's a nice book. And it's funny because a month before that, Alina Lopez slid into my DMs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's Alina Lopez?
I'm
We're gonna
assuming
find
a
out.
porn
We're
star.
gonna find out how much of an L this guy took. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see what
Ah, shit! I can't look that up on this.
Alina
Wait.
Lopez. Oh,
Is she a porn
Hawks
star?
being Mormon plus an adult star with Woo Kid. What?
Woo
So
Kid.
apparently he had like why Alina Lopez explains why she's done with BBC. Bro, to even have to make that statement, it's just so over already. That was this year too. So that means before this year she was taking it.
And I was like, what's happening? Why all these porn stars sliding
Right.
in my DMs? So I was like so confused. And so yeah, and then we talk a little bit, and I ask her if she wants to film some videos. I'm like, I don't know, I'll flip over her or wherever, I don't know.
Right.
And then we kind of talk for a little bit, and then we didn't talk for 3 months. And then she messaged me again. She's like, so you down to do this video or whatever? I was like, fuck.
And you were already in LA at this time?
Yeah, I was in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in LA. I'm like, oh, sure, let's film this video. But I didn't know like with who to go and like who's gonna film the video. And she's like, I have my assistant, we can film the video. I'm like, cool. So I went and filmed like one of the videos with her where I like did like a backflip of her butt.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He did a backflip off her butt.
I'm not understanding what's happening.
Where is this guy from? Pasha. Is this guy Eastern European? He can't
Sounds
be.
like it.
How could he be? This guy is like a twink. What country do they have those in?
Not Eastern Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Turkish name.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
And so you guys just hit it off right away or what?
Yeah, kind of felt the energy, and I don't know, she's the greatest woman I ever met.
Really?
I love her. Yeah, she's so good.
What stands out to you about her? She is a very great person.
Just her personality and like the way she thinks about life and who she is. Just
Imagine like she's like, yeah, well, he's not the best man I've ever met, but you know, he's all right.
I don't know how to
I like
describe
how we
it.
had to preface
I know
that
all this.
with, she's a great person before
I
even
think,
getting to it.
like, what would you think of Adam 22 had he not said like all this stuff about his wife and not giving her away to other guys?
I don't like him.
So even prior, it would have been like, fuck that guy.
If you want to see how petty or how little it would take for me not to like him, it's literally just the fact that he's got so many fucking tattoos. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I thought
That
so.
alone would be enough. And then there's also just him as a person.
Yeah, I had a friend send me a picture. I had a friend send me a picture of this girl, I guess like he matched with. I don't know if he matched with her or what on some app. He's like, would you? And she just had tattoo, like not in the first photo, you don't see it, but then in the second photo, you see they're just all over her arms. And I'm like, yeah, no, man, I don't like tattoos.
Especially on a woman, it's not ideal. It's
like on a guy, they're not good either, but on a woman, it's like, it does more to damage her appearance because what a woman brings to the table is the femininity. As a man, you know, obviously like looks are a factor, but it's not like that's your your priority. That's not the main thing you bring, you know? So, you know, obviously there are other things you can even supplement for that. Women, it's like, that's kind of what makes or breaks you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that like, obviously it would be worse for a woman, even if for a guy, it's not great. I mean, it suggests something about values that honestly, I think like if women were to recognize, they probably avoid men with tattoos more. And yet they don't. Well, that's what I'm saying. If they were to recognize what that means in their values, but that would require certain steps of logic.
The stigma that she does porn, like she did porn.
I mean, honestly, you know, like the best you have is like a religion says like tattoos are bad. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be with the guy with tattoos.
That's what I'm saying, bro. At this point, it's just, you got to go to church now.
Yeah, that's going to have to be it.
Or go to a different country.
That's going to have to be it.
Either passport bro or church.
I've seen passport bros talking about the fact that you shouldn't bring the woman back.
I can see why that would be.
But it's like, I don't want to go to another country and live there forever.
I mean, depending on where it is.
Yeah, it depends on the country. It depends on the country. It depends on what sort of financial opportunities there are or what I even need to worry about financially. I mean, like if I'm subsisting off of like content creation, then it's like, that doesn't really matter. Right.
Yeah.
Now it depends on the country's culture. It depends on how the country is, depends on the women in the country. But you know, if you find a good woman there, it's, you know, it's good. But yeah, that's the problem. It's like, if I have to rely on being here for something, and then over there, I would have to like redo a lot of things in order to even live there. It's going to disincentivize me from wanting to not be here.
Yeah.
So unless I'm at the point where it's like I can just use the money I have invested in something else and I'm good, okay. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it kind of does make sense from their perspective. I mean, I guess if they already are stable enough financially to be doing that, I can see why they do it. Because here it's just so over all the time. It's just constantly over here.
Perennially over.
Right.
But if you really like just put it aside, and she's just amazing, you know. Even
what
and
aside?
even with
If you put what aside, she's amazing.
the stigma that she does porn. Like,
Okay, I see.
she did porn,
Right.
but if you really like just put it aside,
How could you put that aside? How could you? How do you not have that in your mind?
You'd have to be completely deluded at that point.
Yeah.
she's just amazing, you know. Even with that, just a part of her.
Right.
The ultimate
Even with
joy.
that.
So was that something that gave you pause? Obviously, I'm in a similar boat. My girl's naked on the internet as well.
Mhm.
Was that something that ever kind of bothered you? Because obviously you went into it meeting her, knowing that about her.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I like how he has to say, "Oh, my girl was naked on the internet." That gave me pause. It's like, okay, well, now you're lending her to other men.
But I never
Jesus.
understood how well known she is. Because I
true.
grew up.
You know, honestly, it's like I can't even like I can understand how like some guys can get to the point where it's like they have these weird fantasies and like stuff like that, like, you know, depraved stuff. Like I understand how people can get to that. I just don't understand how people could get to the point where it's like I want to give my woman away to somebody else. That is just wildly different, I think.
Yeah.
It's like that is just some other level. Like
You're
I
like
don't- you have to be really far gone.
you're facilitating your own cuckoldry.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Up in Latvia, I was watching like Russian porn and stuff.
Right.
I didn't really know. Maybe I stumbled in it. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't realize how big she is.
Right.
And yeah, I was like, oh shit, like is it normal? Is it not normal?
Right.
But I had a lot of conversation with different people about it, and I had the best conversation with my friend Stas, and he said the best thing ever. He said, like, no matter what you're gonna do, people are gonna tell you you're stupid. You know.
Bruh. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. You know, like whether my woman's fucked, you know, one guy, 50 guys, you know, whatever. It's all the same because obviously, you know, people are going to look at me for whatever I do. So I may as well do anything. You know,
Yes.
it's like, well, you know, whether you loan her out to other guys or you don't, it's all the same. I'm sure that's what Adam thought. He probably got advice from that same friend.
It's one guy
that was
just
like-
giving the worst advice ever.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta. Okay, hold on. Let me tell you what you got to do.
Yeah. You know those women, like, you know, the ones that all those guys jack off to, you know those ones that like every guy's talked about, every guy's seen naked. You know, it's like, well, think about it, man. Think about this.
It's
Think about
fresh.
Yeah. Think about this, man. Like women, you see them on the internet. It's like, all right, guys already know what every woman looks like. So it's like, well, so what if they know what your girl looks like? They know what every woman looks like. So if a bunch of guys saw that, what does it matter, bro? She hit you up. That's all that matters, bro.
It all came at the end of the day what other people say.
Yeah.
I never gave a
If
fuck.
you don't care, then why the fuck
Yeah.
would you worry about what other people think?
Yeah,
you know?
and he said, like, if you care about what other people are gonna say, no matter what you're gonna do, they're gonna say that you're stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
So
That's why I should make the worst decision of my life.
It doesn't even make sense.
I'm going to be judged regardless. So I should make terrible decisions if I want to.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well just get addicted to crack. Like, what? Well, hold on.
Actually,
I might as well get
I would-
addicted to heroin.
I would use cocaine personally if I was going to die. I mean,
Well, that one.
honestly, it may
person you
save my
asked-
life.
Who was it? You said you were talking about was it a guy or a girl where you asked that? You're like, well,
Yeah. Well, it was, the thing is, there was this girl who was saying, so she's religious, and she was saying that basically if it came down to it, if she didn't believe in God, I guess it didn't like because her first hypothetical was if you were about to die in an hour regardless, would you use the drugs? I think she was more apprehensive because it's like, well, it's a sin. But then I was like, okay, well, what if you don't believe in God? And then she's like, well, yeah, I just do it because it doesn't matter. I don't think it was anything like cocaine. I think it was probably heroin.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would ever consider doing heroin.
Yeah.
There's actually this one movie, Walk Hard.
Walk Hard.
Yeah.
Is this like an Asian guy that gets an erection? Oh, I saw Walk Hard.
Walk Hard. No, it's like a spoof film of like a country star. It has that one guy that's like with Will Ferrell up, but not Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what his name is, but anyway,
Tim Allen.
No, there'd be like it would be like throughout the entire movie. It happened like 4 or 5 times where he'd like get off stage to like a cheering crowd or whatever as a country star, and he'd go to like where his I don't remember if it was his manager or his like friend or whatever, where he'd walk in, he's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on here? You don't want any part of this, Stewie. This is awful. It's gonna make you feel really good and really relax for a good amount of." And it's like always a new drug every time, something like that, I imagine. And I think one of the times it was heroin at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You don't want this cocaine. It's going to improve your metabolism and also make you very mentally stimulated.
Okay, now that's like an after air talk, I guess. That makes it sound even worse now. Shit.
Yeah, I'll hook you up with my guy. Don't worry. He's coming.
Oh, no. Well, actually.
Hey, look, guys, it's a joke. In Roblox, okay?
Yeah, I'm
look,
like, I'm going to
use this joking star so that you know I'm joking, okay? You know, this joking star is going to tell you, hey, feds, it's completely ironic. It's like a satirical. Kids, don't do drugs, okay? Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad, okay?
I mean, I seen your whole family at the wedding and everything, obviously embracing it.
He was at the wedding, or I guess you saw a video.
Yeah, they're super cool. They understand it's life.
Right.
It's just like, it is what it is. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Not date a porn star?
Did you
She
encourage?
didn't kill anyone. You know, if she killed anyone, then it would be different.
Hey, she is responsible for the disappearance of billions of people, okay? She poured billions of people into acid, okay?
Different story. Like, I mean,
Right.
be careful.
Yeah.
She might kill you at night.
Definitely. But did you put the idea in her head to stop shooting like other porn, or was that already something she was
She
thinking
already
of?
stopped. She
Before.
already stopped before. She did girl stuff.
Right.
Huh? She did all girl stuff. Like she was only doing lesbian stuff, you say?
I guess at a certain point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, during the OnlyFans thing, that like, especially as OnlyFans is taking off, it kind of at a certain point for somebody like her who makes an absurd amount of money from her fans directly, it's like, why would you?
Yeah, it makes
keep doing it, you know?
As I said, like, whatever people say, it just doesn't really matter. Like,
Right.
at first, I was like,
Oh, hey, if there's something else you can make money with, you wouldn't want to take dick from a bunch of random guys? That's surprising.
I thought
kind of like, oh shit,
It's almost like it's not a good option, and you want to not do that.
it's a lot. Like, a lot of people just came at me like, "What are you doing? You stupid." I'm like,
Right.
why you care about that? Like, I don't know.
For sure.
Just,
Why?
at this point,
What have you had any like people that you know or like friends of yours like give you a hard time about it? Like, because I don't know. I could imagine
They gave her a hard time, if you know what I'm saying.
that some people just talk shit, and some people might actually be upset.
like maybe 2 of my friends said something, unfollowed me.
Really?
That's
Wow,
about
that's-
it.
You know, honestly, the fact that we were having trouble understanding him, he's kind of like that one European, like, you know, the European guys from Family Guy?
The almost fluent in English European guys.
Yeah.
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 Wow, dude, that's so great.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's about it. Like, nothing crazy. Everyone I know and everyone I respect and people with the skills, they never said anything.
Right.
They just like, you happy? My mom asked, you happy?
Yeah.
You know, because I prepared, like, my mom as well, like, said, look, this is what can happen. People can come to you. People can fucking pull up the videos and shit. Like, you gotta
No, people don't come to you. People come to her.
Yeah, your
be
mom
ready.
didn't
I
know.
just
Yeah.
I just gotta prepare. Like, a lot of like dumb people,
Right.
and she never cared. She's like, she seems like a nice girl. She met her in person. It's not like she just does it all the time. Like people assume she just goes around.
Oh my god.
I mean-
that's yeah. Well,
At one point, yeah.
yeah. You know, the thing is here, it's like, okay, well, she only does it sometimes. I only kill people sometimes. I'm not really a murderer.
You know, it's just a side thing, you know, just to get some
Yeah.
money here and there.
Exactly.
And have sex with people.
I know. Like some of my friends, like the dudes who do the podcast with me, they came to my kid's birthday party, and she came.
Yeah.
Oh, she came? That's a surprise. Ha!
Like, you know, a couple of them said to me afterwards, they're like, bro, like Riley and Tiana Trump, like they're so nice and like normal and shit. And I'm like, well, what the fuck did you think? And they're like, well, I just didn't know that like a porn star was like a normal person. I'm
I thought they just started sucking me off right there.
like, wow, like that's crazy as fuck to me that you needed to like meet them in real life to know that they're just chicks who have a job.
A lot of people don't. They
Just
just
a
don't
job.
understand. They're living in that bubble and they just think.
Yeah, sex work is work, okay. But water is water, and we don't drink out of the toilet.
Hey, as long as they get taxed by the IRS.
Oh, well, you know, that's the thing, you know. I can't have none of these women that are like, you know, going out there behind the back of the government, taking payment from men and not filming it for money and then reporting it to the IRS. That would be terrible. Those are the scum of the earth. These people who do it on camera for millions to see and make sure that the IRS gets paid, I think those are perfectly normal people, upstanding members of the community.
Give it like 10
Perfect within
years.
society.
That's going to be the new Republican talking point. We need to make sure that these people, these awful people, they're giving their money to the IRS when they're doing this work.
They pay their taxes like everyone else, okay, folks?
Yeah. So
Crazy.
I paid one time and she reported it too.
it is pretty crazy, to be honest. I don't know how that happened, but I'm happy. Like, I'm a happy man, and she's amazing. Have the best time in my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've seen you
That's
guys.
what matters. And like people think about you or they talk about you, but for how long they think about you? They think about you like 2 minutes, and then like, okay, I have to go take a shit. I have to go take care of my kids.
Right.
That's
They only think about her for 2 minutes as well, and then they have to go take a shit.
all. Like, and why would you change your life just because of this 2 minutes of like someone else's thinking that you don't even know?
Right.
I mean, didn't he just say somebody unfollowed him?
Well, you know, it's funny that he's just mentioning the 2 minutes. You know, a lot can happen in 2 minutes, buddy.
A lot.
Were you already a somewhat freaky dude? Or
What?
Why
Why would you ask that?
That is. Hold on. The whole thing was, oh, you know, she's done with that. She doesn't do it anymore. You know, she's a normal girl. And then he's just like, well, let me ask this question that I wouldn't ask anybody else, really. Well, granted, it's him, so maybe not. But still, like, it comes completely out of left field and kind of undermines the whole tone of the conversation thus forward.
By the way, if you're a man with money, why would it be that you would have a Starbucks cup rather than just brewing your own coffee if you really wanted coffee in a cup that is made of ceramic? And why would you have a water bottle filled with plastic? Why wouldn't you just have your own water in a way where it's like purified? Why is this man just like, yeah, no, never mind. I want all my food stored in plastic and this hot coffee in a plastic lined cup. Like, you know, that's exactly what I want, even though I have enough money to do whatever I want.
Or just don't drink coffee.
I think that's missing the point.
I mean, fair.
It's just it just seems like even when people have the resources, they just clearly have no intention for anything because, I mean, first of all, they're kind of just told that these things are okay. Like there isn't a lot of, I guess, awareness, but it's also just like, man, why would you still be going for this level of like convenience and I mean, saving on resources? Like, you know, when it's like, you don't have to do that. You can just have like a quality, like, I don't imagine Starbucks is the highest quality coffee either.
I would not be going to McDonald's if I had money like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, if I want a burger, I go somewhere like, you know, I make my own, first of all. Or, you know, if I had money, I just have a person make it for me.
Yeah,
Hire a chef. I would hire a chef, a PD chef.
that is such an open market.
Yeah.
Hmm.
PD health consultant, nutritionist, chef, trainer.
The gears are turning.
Yes.
Or are you? Because I've heard. I don't know if I'm saying too much, but I've heard stories. My girl went on you guys' honeymoon or no engagement party weekend. She said she might have seen you and your wife. You getting a little freaky with some of the other girls there and stuff. Was this the kind of thing that you were always into, or is she opening your mind?
I mean, she definitely. I was always like, she took me to a parkour gym. Like when we first started like hooking up.
Wait, what? What does that have to do with the freaky stuff? She took me to a Parker gym.
To hook up, it seems like.
In the gym?
I guess.
Okay.
Why?
So like, oh my god, this is something. This is next level.
why
I was
the
freaky,
park,
but like,
the gym is at least inside, but the park,
outdoors with all the ants.
bro, there's kids there. What the fuck?
Yeah, that too.
like in order to be freaky, you need freaky person. You know, you can't be freaky with someone just who's not freaky. It would be like weird.
Because she's got 500 girls in her phone that she could.
Why is that something? Why is that like? You want to have a threesome with the girl that you're with? It's not going to turn out well.
I don't know why you'd want to. Like, even if you're like, you want some variety or whatever, you don't mix wires, bro.
You don't shit where you eat.
Exactly. Hopefully not literally.
But it's like, why is it? I mean, first of all, it's like, I think, for most guys, one can just get the job done, even if it's a different one,
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the only reason this would be feasible or this would be needing to happen is that like he wants other women, but then he knows like he can't do it by himself. So he just gets it to where it's like her and the other girl.
Yeah, but then here's the thing. Unless he's doing the, what the fuck was that guy's name again? The Arab guy?
Arab.
Yeah, with the ponytail.
I'm doing a lot.
With the fucking, the circumcision guy.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, Leo. Unless he's doing like that Leo thing. How would that even work out? Is it like, would it be an issue if like he had two girls, right? But then
and one
one that isn't her is where he, like I'd imagine that would necessarily result in some kind of tension there. But then it's like, why is she even there to begin with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, this is like, I think Riley Reid just has porn brain from being in so much porn that it's like she's just recreating what she did for work. Yeah, work, quote unquote. I mean, it's like she got paid for it. I'm not saying it's good work, but it's like, it's a terrible job to do. Technically, it's a job in the sense of you get paid, but is it really like, I mean, I think work can be degrading.
There are a
like,
lot of jobs within that job.
Like the women that get laid out on sushi tables naked and have sushi on them. That's a job.
What?
Yeah. You don't know about that?
No.
Pretty sure Kanye did that too. It's like they have like Japanese women like lay down on a table and they put like sushi on them and people like take it like the sushi off of her with chopsticks. But they have her laying there it's like a rich people thing.
Maybe I don't want to be rich.
Well, anyway, point being, I'm saying, yeah, that's technically a job. I mean, she's getting paid for that. But it's a very degrading line of work. So even for the people that are like sex work is work. Okay. Even if it is like, I mean, even if I don't contest the fact that it's like a job, it's terrible for you. It's like, it's not a good thing to do just because it's work. All of a sudden the left saying work is good. Surprising.
Why would I want to
like Tucker Carlson?
It's like some George Costanza shit.
What?
Eating, sex, and then like a baseball game at the same time. Why would I want to mix any of those two things?
Well,
or 3, I guess.
yeah, and then he started getting like George when he did that. He started getting like turned on when he ate the sandwich.
Yeah.
I think that's some real shit, dude. That would happen.
No,
You'd
it would have
associate
to
with
be
that.
because it's
Yeah.
association based. That's why people
Exactly.
get kinks to begin with. They see
Yeah.
something and then they associate it with the feeling of arousal or release or whatever, and then they just kind of associate it with it like perpetually. So if you're doing that shit, you're gonna be eating like a tuna roll or something. You're just gonna start like thinking some things, bro.
Yeah. Getting a little freaky with the sandwich, the McChicken.
Oh no.
Can't even eat McChicken anymore. I mean, I don't eat them for the purpose of them having a lot of PUFA, and they have mayo and all that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Every time I ordered a sandwich from McDonald's, I was like a chicken sandwich. Every single time there's something wrong with the chicken. One time it was like gelatinous mush. It was absolutely disgusting. The other time it was like raw in the middle. And then another time it was raw in the middle.
Yeah. I used to like the spicy McChickens, honestly.
Every single time I got a chicken sandwich, there was something wrong with it. I don't know what's... It's not like it was from the same McDonald's either. It was always a different McDonald's.
I mean, looking back, like I've tried some patties from McDonald's ever since like not eating McDonald's. Other than that, I think I was too harsh on McDonald's because like the burgers aren't. I mean, honestly, I was too harsh on the McDonald's burgers because the burger patties really aren't. They're good.
No,
I mean, they're better than Wendy's.
The burger, dude, I made like a little test just to try a Wendy's patty with none of the actual.
It was dry.
Yeah, it was really dry. It was boring. It tasted like a school lunch patty. It was really fucking shit.
Yeah,
but a McDonald's
I-
quarter pounder patty, that's
Yeah.
pretty decent actually.
Yeah, I know. Like it is better to me as well. So I don't know. Wendy's. If I go to Wendy's at this point, all I can really get is their lemonade. It's like, oh yeah, give me a Dave's natural lemonade. But McDonald's, it's like, you know, I like their patties.
I still eat the quarter pounder if I'm like really in a rush.
Yeah. I mean, what does it have other than the patty and the?
It's
bread?
a cheese and bread basically.
Oh, the quarter
Yeah,
pounder doesn't have any other toppings.
It's cheese, bread, and onions. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They don't have any tomato or lettuce on it.
It's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it's just, I wish they could use a cheese that isn't cancerous. That's
Yeah.
really the big thing because the buns. I don't know what it is. If I eat bread anywhere else, but if I eat a bun off a burger, like a fast food place, or even like a sit down place, when you went to that one bar place when I got a burger, I didn't really feel the bloating or anything from that. But if I eat bread in like literally any other context, then it's an issue.
Well, I've had it happen to me with burgers before. Like I remember I went to this one place, like a dine-in place, or like I forgot what it was called. I mean, I know what it was called, like the place, but I just meant like the type of restaurant. It was it's like one of those good things Guy Fieri would go to. You know, diners, drive-ins, and dines. You know, so I went to one of those. I had a burger, and I felt like bloated after that. I had like gas after eating that burger. But the thing is, I've eaten sourdough bread, never had that problem. I've eaten like regular bread, and I've had that problem.
You're saying sourdough is the magic bullet?
I mean, it gets rid of enough phytic acid and I mean other like aspects of it, I suppose, like to just be good.
I don't know. Saladino still said there was some stuff with it.
I would say he probably said that just because it doesn't completely remove it, even though I would say it's significant enough to not have any digestive issues from it. I mean, I didn't notice any problems eating it. So clearly it's a lot more digestible, at least for me, because I have had like issues with gluten ever since not eating as much of it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would probably know if there were many adverse effects. But yeah.
Kind of want a quarter pounder now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound too bad. Except for the cheese, man. I just don't like the sound of the cheese. I really never really liked American cheese. It's always kind of grossed me out.
You can tell because if it's a good cheese, you can eat it on its own and it still tastes good. If you have ever had American cheese by itself, oh man, that is an experience.
I remember there was one time, like as a kid, I saw a piece of white bread floating in the pool, and I didn't eat white bread for ages after that.
What?
It was like all soggy. It was like floating there. And I was just like, it disgusted me, like the look of it so much. I couldn't eat white bread anymore.
At a public pool?
Yeah. Well, a community pool.
Yeah, potato.
I don't know who left that there. It was a single piece of bread. It's like they were feeding ducks.
In the pool?
I don't know, man. It's like, how do you have a single piece of bread, no sandwich? You know, it wasn't a sandwich. There wasn't anything on the bread. It was just a piece of bread. Who eats that?
You know, when I was ill-informed, what I used to do is I'd make a modified toast, which was protein packed before I even knew that it was protein packed. So basically, what I would do is I get a piece of toast, put it in the toaster oven or whatever.
Wait, you take a piece of bread and put it in the toaster oven?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not
Otherwise,
toaster
it would be
oil.
charcoal. Yeah. So it's
So
toast.
what do you put in a toaster?
Toast. So I took it out after it's toasted, and now it has become toast, and it is no longer bread proper. And I would basically just every time I put a layer, I'd add honey. So first layer was a ton of honey, like to the point where it was like a pool of honey on the bread. Like
I remember syrup sandwiches and crumb allowances.
Exactly, except it was not syrup; it was honey. And then I put some walnuts on top, then a layer of honey. Then I put some crushed pistachios, then a layer of honey, then almonds, then a layer of honey, and I'd eat that.
Damn.
Yeah, it was absolutely awful looking back at it. But I mean, it tasted good in the moment, and it seemed kind of cool. Simple.
Yeah, you would have been better off had you eaten like macadamia nuts. Those are primarily like composed.
You know
of,
what's
like,
funny
amylase.
too? My mother was telling me that when I was a wee lad. She was always like, "Oh, you gotta stay away from those macadamia nuts," because I used to love like macadamia nut white chocolate cookies. It's like, "Oh, those are gonna kill you, the cholesterol and all that." And I was like, "Oh,
What?
shit. Yeah,
Cholesterol,
or whatever, saturated fat, something like that."
saturated fat. How much saturated fat do macadamia? Like they mainly have MUFAs.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They're not even like extremely like okay. So they have less polyunsaturated fat than most other nuts, but they have a significant amount of monounsaturated fat. So I mean, I would rather eat those than other nuts. But where is she getting that it had like cholesterol in there?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if anything, cholesterol is not even bad.
Well, it's not, but
But
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of besides the point.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. Where did the cholesterol even come from? That's the thing too. I think I mentioned this before. Like as a kid, there was a point. Okay, so I was really skinny as a little kid, like malnourished. And then eventually, like in middle school, like late elementary, early middle school, I actually gained a bit of weight. Like not just a bit. I was like a chunky boy, hefty, husky. And so the doctors, when they were like, they saw I was a hefty boy, they're like, "Oh yeah, you should be cutting out those egg yolks."
Bruh.
That was the thing they pointed to out of everything, I could have been eating. It's like, yeah, you don't eat those eggs. Well, actually, I don't even know if they did specifically. I think it was like the fact because they were like the cholesterol. So I think my mom was concerned about the egg yolks. I think they might have reinforced that like notion. It's like, yeah, they can do it.
That's not even the first thing that I, as a normie, would think of to get rid of to deal with weight gain.
They started putting that in my mind. I believed it at the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't eat those egg yolks. Maybe that's what's doing it to me.
My first thing would be like sugar in that sense.
I mean, even so, yeah, that makes, I mean, like from a normie perspective, I guess I get why they would believe that, but it's like, man, it's just, it's nonsensical.
They were cucking your eggs, bro.
Yeah. See, that could have helped me with a lot of nutrients I actually did need. Because I was only eating like 2 eggs a day. So I wasn't even eating like a large amount of eggs.
That's way more than I was doing. My mom scared me on eggs too. She told me to only have 3 a week.
I think I eventually I started eating one yolk, like whole egg and then 1 egg white. I think we started I think they just started throwing away the yolk, but I would still eat a yolk a day.
No.
Yeah, that's the best part of the egg. But I mean, at least I would still eat a yolk. It's not like I ate no yolk, which is good. But I did eat a shit ton of processed food, like from middle school to high school.
Yeah, that'll
like once I got home, like that would be the first thing I ate. Like and also I would have like Eggo waffles, like in the morning.
I used to have those too.
Huh?
I used to have those.
Yeah, so it would be like the Eggo waffle, the egg. The egg's good. The Eggo waffle's not great because it has vegetable oil. And then there's like some syrup, so it probably has like high fructose corn syrup in there.
Syrup, yeah.
There was not maple syrup, unfortunately. See, it could have been so based. Like I could have done so many things different that would have made it based. And then I think like coffee. But then the coffee had creamer, which was probably had polyunsaturated fat in it, because it wasn't milk, it wasn't cream, it wasn't heavy cream. And then I would get home after school lunch, which, you know, that shit's disgusting. And then I'd
Yeah.
get home and I'd eat, like it would be like Pop-Tarts and like chips and like popcorn and like
Powdered donut surprise.
no, but it's pretty comparable as far as how much I was eating and like, you know, the like the content of like high fructose corn syrup and seed oils. So, and then I would have like chocolate milk, and you know, it would just be like that wouldn't even be like that would be the third time I ate in the day, and it wouldn't even be the last thing I ate. So like then I would eat like maybe like chicken, and which is, you know, iron, polyunsaturated fat. So many grams of PUFAs in the day. Honestly, I'm surprised I was even able to lose weight later in high school eating similar to that. But then you know, there was what was it? I'm trying to think. Yeah. I mean, I would eat some white rice, so not terrible. But then I would have like, and you know, honestly, not even that bad that I had like, let's say like a glass of orange juice or something with it. So not the worst thing. It's actually pretty good, you know. So that's actually good. I don't remember if I always had like natural juice or if it might have been some other stuff, but at least there was that. So okay, so the day's pretty bad. And I remember I was trying to lose weight at some point because obviously the seed oils were catching up to me. And so I was like, man, I need to lose this weight. I remember I was like tracking all my calories. I was like going on the treadmill every day. And I mean, I did lose weight over one summer. So, and I eventually lost a significant amount of weight. I was very like skinny and a little bit like not like skinny fat, but I did have a little bit of a fat. So it was like almost there in like end of high school, like early college. And I know what I was eating. I think how I was able to get down, you know, it's actually pretty interesting because I remember I was eating pretty much in what it was telling me to eat as far as a deficit. It wasn't like a huge deficit, actually. It was just somewhat below maintenance. So not great for metabolic rate, but it was at least, I guess, probably the food I was eating to an extent was saving me because I wasn't eating as bad as before. And what I was doing is actually, I was actually meeting my calorie requirement by drinking a lot of orange juice. I was actually drinking a lot of orange juice to meet the calorie requirement. And so I think like inadvertently, I was kind of peating at the time because it's like, dude, I was like, yeah, this orange juice just seems to be really helping me. And it actually was. And so that's kind of crazy to me that I kind of discovered that back in the day without even realizing. I do know that I was eating like even then, unfortunately, like some Panda Express, which I found really like, I loved the taste of it back then. And it was the noodles and orange chicken and stuff. So not great,
MSG,
but I think how much orange juice I was consuming actually might have helped me with what I was eating. And even so, I wasn't eating like, I think I wasn't eating like so terrible like I was prior. I think I was eating better, even if it wasn't great, because I was tracking everything. So then I was starting to see like, okay, well maybe I shouldn't eat these like really like fatty foods or anything was kind of my notion, even though I wasn't thinking of PUFAs. So if anything, I kind of fixed myself at that point. It had to be lower PUFA than I was eating before, honestly, just based on what I was eating compared to then. Even if it wasn't significantly lower, it was at least somewhat lower. And then I think, okay, so then I kind of fucked myself over throughout college for a good amount of it because I just started eating like shit just to meet like my, like not feel malnourished, honestly. But then there were a lot of points where I was eating like Cheerios and nuts and peanut butter. Like I remember like there were these, because honestly, if I had just stuck to what I was doing before, I would have been better off. I remember there was like these meals I would make where it's just like these, I thought it was like these protein bars that were so good for you. Similar, you know, I would use like trail mix, peanut butter, granola, and I would just put that in the freezer and start eating out of it like a whole bowl. It was crazy. And then in the mornings, I would eat like cornflakes. Okay, cornflakes, like actually, like Brad Marshall talks about them. They could actually like help you with weight loss just because like they're it's not high protein. Huh? Yeah, it's not high protein. Like they do add sugar in there. Like it's not the worst food really. Even though like, you know, Kellogg, the guy that came up with it, intentionally made it to be a bland food that was not giving the same nutrients that meat does in order to prevent like libido from being a thing. So even if I think he might have just maybe potentially just not realized how to make something like that and inadvertently made something that could just still be used to lose weight, even if his intention wasn't necessarily like to make yourself healthy on it, because he was trying to stifle like libido. But
there was a point where I was eating a shit ton of Frosted Flakes.
But well, I was eating the plain cornflakes. So I was eating the plain cornflakes, Cheerios, milk, and then I put a shit ton of peanut butter in it. Dude, I was just eating so much fucking peanut butter. Yeah.
Who the fuck puts peanut butter in their bowl of cereal?
I thought it just tasted good.
Bro. No, what you gotta do is you get the Frosted Flakes, a bowl of milk. You put the cereal first, obviously.
Yeah.
Then
But the
you
thing
put
is,
the
like,
milk.
my
And
roommate
then,
and I.
Wait.
Sorry.
Then you put a generous helping of sugar on top of that. And then when you get to the bottom of the bowl, as you're scooping up the milk with your spoon, you get a spoonful of sugar too.
See, that would help me so much. And at the time, I probably would have thought, dude, that's unhealthy. What are you talking about? Even though I was eating peanut butter in my
I learned it
cereal.
from my mom.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Like, dude, your mom was peating. It was helping you pete. But you know,
She
like
was screwing me up every other way though.
screwing you up every other way except for the one saving grace where she was finally like becoming a true Peter. But you know, the thing is, like, I was just fucking myself over with that. If only I had followed that instead, dude, I would have been so much better off. Yeah, but no, the good thing, at least at this time, you know, honestly, again, what I did was I was drinking a shit ton of milk. So honestly, I might have protected myself at least somewhat from the polyunsaturated fats by drinking more milk. So honestly, like, and I was eating a good like amount of beef and like stuff. So like I was, if any, when I felt like malnourished, I started eating more beef. I did eat some chicken, which is not great, but I ate more breast, so it was less fat at least, and there were vitamins in it. So look, overall, I was doing things which were helping me save myself from the detrimental things I was engaging in. But at least there were other things I was doing that were counterbalancing it to an extent. Even though I know like there were points where I was like fucking myself over and stuff. Eventually I was able to get on a better understanding of what's better. Even the times I was like trying to lose weight, I wasn't doing as high carb, but I would still eat like fruit and stuff like that. And like, I wouldn't shy away from like milk. So it's not like I was eating no sugar. Like I still had carbs in the diet. It's just, I wasn't like focusing on making them the top one. I was more protein intense, but the thing is like, I got off oatmeal like 1 month before I was ending college. And I was like, yeah, let me just eat more eggs. Let me have more milk. Let me have more fruit. Like I was kind of, before I even got to the animal based stuff, I was starting to get on that track, like right there. And eventually, like I did kind of learn more about it and I was getting more into it. So honestly, you know, throughout time, I've done things which have protected me, you know, at least to an extent. And hopefully once I'm completely PUFA depleted, you know, I don't even have to look back at that. Which PUFA depletion can take some time. I don't know. Saladino, I think he said it could, like his estimate, like, and it sounds a lot more on the low end. He was saying a couple of years. Now I've heard like 4 to 7 years. So I don't know. I would say eating enough coconut oil and other stuff that are offsetting it, you know, I could see it being closer to the 4-year mark, maybe 3-4 years.
If you're eating a ton of saturated fat, that should diminish it a lot, no?
I would say closer to 3 or 4 years, maybe. But then again, that is usually an estimate for people that aren't even like not eating seed oils, like the 4 to 7 years. So if anything, I can see why Saladino gave an estimate of 2 years. So for me, it's like, okay, it would make more sense that I lose a lot of that polyunsaturated fat in the adipose tissue if it's able to be released, probably within the next half year to a year. If it were like a safe estimate of 2 years, I would need to get it checked though, because you can get that checked, like your lipid levels.
Would the emphasis on carbs not also play a role in that, since you're not using the fat for energy anymore?
Like you mean like in preventing the fat release or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually I read like Anabology was talking about how like a very sharp increase in carbs in the diet can actually cause a liberation of the stored fat. And so like there would be more free fatty acids. And if anything, you can screw yourself over a bit if you're eating too many carbs and not really, and you have a lot of PUFAs in the system, which means you have a lot of like fat tissue in the first place. So if you have like more adipose tissue and you're very unsaturated in your fat content, and then you're eating a lot of sugar, it can actually cause some more issues with like, you know, your thyroid and trying to lose weight and all that. So you kind of need to like ramp it up over time if you're like really fat. I mean, Peat did say you want to like even still be low protein, low fat, and still have a higher amount of carbs in the diet, even if you're not eating as much as someone who could eat in carbs when they're, you know, not overweight.
I don't think I understood what you meant there.
Okay, so Peat was talking about like if his advice for weight loss was more on the end of, okay, you still don't really want to eat as much at first when you're fat. But you do want to make the primary component of your diet carbohydrates, even if like he actually recommended eating low protein, low fat. But Anabology was talking about how like if you do eat too many carbs, which is I would assume it's like not just like a moderate carb diet, but in like a high carb diet, that could cause a liberation in the polyunsaturated fats, cause more issues like in stifling your like weight loss. If anything, once you're losing, and that's just losing weight rapidly in general can cause that. And since the carbs are promoting that, that would be why it's happening. But rapid weight loss causes that. But then Brad Marshall was talking about how like people who are obese were given like this crazy amount of like starch, carbohydrates, they lose weight, and they're actually eating above maintenance calories, like they're actually eating like a calorie like increased amount of calories, and their ability to burn those carbs actually goes up by or like their ability to burn fat goes up as well. Like the amount of calories they could take in and burn goes up, the amount of fat they're burning in their body goes up. So honestly, I think if you counter the polyunsaturated fats being liberated by the weight loss, you could really like rapidly lose weight eating the carbohydrates and be okay.
I see.
Yeah. But I did notice at one point I wasn't eating as much coconut oil, and I think like because it was like when I was first doing the honey diet, like I was noticing kind of like, I think honestly there was some sort of liberation happening just based on how I was feeling. Right now I'm eating very low protein and some fat. I think it was more of an issue of I probably wasn't eating enough fat at that point as opposed to protein. I think like once I've added more heavy cream in my diet, I've actually felt better. And I'm eating actually lower protein than I was at that point. So doing the honey diet on more protein and less fat is actually not as good as doing like a carb overfeeding where you're still eating some fat enough to not be in the range of where people would still be fat and not burning it, because that would be, I forgot if it was like I think it was probably above 20. I don't know if it was like between 40 and 60, somewhere around there. Like that range wouldn't actually be burning fat, but anything above 60 would still be burning fat a lot. And then anything below that range would be burning fat. So as long as I keep my fat below that point, but I'm eating enough fat, because if you're not eating enough fat, it actually will cause issues with the, with like when you're liberating the polyunsaturated fats, and it's just not going to help you in general. Eating way too low just because you have to worry about that liberation. But when I actually started eating more fat, like cream, like especially like that's the main thing I was including more of, butter, cream.
I was eating so much butter and cream before I started on the coconut oil thing.
Yeah, when I started including more of those, I actually started feeling better. Energy levels have went up. I've actually felt a lot better on this version of like the sort of carbosis. I've been able to overfeed the carbs still, and I've been getting a little leaner. But like having like basically no protein, like a little bit, like honestly, I do eat corn pancakes, which have more of like a 10% amount of protein, which is still a little higher than what even Brad Marshall would do, but it's closer to like that older standard American diet where people were leaner. So I'm actually still getting closer to that range that would be like what people used to eat, as opposed to now where people actually are eating more protein. And so I'm still on that lower protein end of things, to the point where it would promote weight loss, but I'm eating enough fat to protect myself from any sort of like polyunsaturated fat liberation. And I'm eating enough carbs to promote that weight loss. So if anything, I've found like a very optimal way of doing it, which beforehand, when I was just following the anabology way, which he was basically eating no fat throughout the day, it didn't feel as good to do that as it does now.
I wouldn't think it would.
Yeah. I was thinking like, okay, I wasn't even thinking about the detrimental effects that could be like, cause I know Georgie has even gone like on like basically no fat throughout the day, like at all, even like not even just in one meal, but he was like basically going on no fat. He said he got so hungry that he was like binging on ice cream afterward. I think he told Saladino about that one.
Yeah, that's where I remember hearing it.
Yeah. You said like a pint of ice cream or something, I believe.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It was insane.
So I honestly did underdo it with the fat. I definitely did. And I think that's not something that should be done.
That's why I was thinking the whole anabology thing, the honey diet thing, there's no way you can remain satiated long enough where you're not going to end up crashing or like going back to whatever it is eventually. Because here's my thought process on it. The fact that there are 3 major macros means you probably need all of them to some degree. So cutting any of them out in totality, even for like a little bit of amount of time, isn't going to be healthy regardless. The issue would be just getting the ratio right.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is like, and that is true as well. I have been eating it more through like all of the macros throughout the day, even if some are way more limited, like protein is way more limited. I do like, like the corn has protein in it and I'm eating a small amount of that. And then I'll eat a little bit more like closer to dinner time. But I will like stagger any high protein intake toward one meal rather than eating it all like throughout the day. But yeah, no, the thing is like anabology has talked about including more heavy cream, like because of the lack of protein content. He's definitely shifted more to what I'm talking about now, where it's like you do actually want to include saturated fat, even if you're not eating protein. I think he's realized that as well. So he has talked about including heavy cream in that, even though he wasn't prior, which I would say is like, yeah, that actually is something that he missed out on at first. I don't know, like, because I started including it more honestly, like around the time he started talking about it as well. But I also kind of realized it myself. But I think he's realized where that was kind of like needed to be modified. It seemed to be working for him the way he was doing it, but I don't know if he felt any kind of way, because he seemed like he had energy. He seemed like he was doing well on it. But yeah, I was even noticing, I think what I noticed prior to him wasn't necessarily the cream, but I actually was eating more coconut oil to supplement the fat. I felt like I needed the fat. So I actually started eating the coconut oil, and I was feeling better even doing that. Then I started doing the heavy cream after he mentioned it. I think I might have been doing a little bit of butter prior, just because it's like, yeah, it has no protein. So, but yeah, I definitely realized that like around the same time as him, probably, that it is necessary. The protein itself, I think, is just, even though it's necessary, it just seems to be the smallest quantity you actually need. Like Brad Marshall was talking about, he does like 5 to 6%, and that's actually a good amount to be eating, especially if you're obese. If you're not obese,
it's rough.
If you're not obese, well, it's actually it apparently it's like, I mean, first of all, the guy I was talking about, fat loss, he was I'm gonna switch to, because we haven't been looking at this.
Yeah. Talking over Adam's funny too, just staring at the guy.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oops. Trying to figure this format out here.
Bruh.
I forgot which way. Yeah, that was the one we usually use. Okay, but fat loss also eats very low branch chain amino acids. Like, he'll eat like 1/3 of a pound of beef a day, and then most of his days just eating heavy cream. So he's not actually eating that much protein. Like, total, he's pretty much eating, like, I don't know how much protein's in, like, because he eats a few vegetables with that. So like there's probably a little bit in that, but for the most part, the beef itself is some, like, I would say a little over 20 grams, like somewhere around, because it's 1/3. I think 1/4 has like 20 grams, but not even eating that much in protein throughout the day compared to the rest of what he's eating, even though meat is pretty like dense in it. So he's not eating a lot of, he's not what?
In it.
He's not eating like a lot of branched chain amino acids. Brad Marshall's talking about not eating a lot of branched chain amino acids. They're losing weight. It's helping them. So I would say in an obese state, it makes more sense to be cutting protein to that degree, because it's not thermogenic for you. You actually aren't using it the same way that somebody who has a higher metabolism is. Even if the person with the high metabolism still doesn't want to eat a lot of protein, like, more than that, like older American version of, I don't know if it was like 10, 12, somewhere around there. Whereas today, I think it's a few like, I don't remember exactly what the numbers Brad was giving. I'm trying to remember if it was like 16 to 20 today, somewhere around there, as opposed to what it was before. Somewhere in that ratio, right? Like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but point being is that the standard, like, shouldn't be so high, even if it isn't like 5 or 6. I mean, you still want to keep it pretty low. I think you said, what are you at, like 10% or somewhere around there? You said, like, estimate.
It varies. Basically, when I eat breakfast, I have no protein whatsoever besides the milk I drink. And then I try to keep that up for lunch. If I'm hungry, I'll have like an egg or something small like that. And then dinner is when I'll have like most of my actual meat.
Yeah, so basically, if that's how you're eating, before dinner, you're getting about like 14 grams of protein total.
I mean, it also helps.
There would be a little bit from the other foods, like depending on what you're consuming, because orange juice even has a little bit, like a couple grams. So you're probably eating closer to like the, let's say, 20 to 30 gram range before dinner.
It's basically just fruit and dairy before then. Fruit, dairy, and then like pure sugar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like depending on how many cups of milk you have, I would say 30 grams is probably a more accurate representation, maybe.
Probably about 3 a day.
3 a day, I would say.
On the generous side.
Yeah. So still less than 40, probably around closer to 30, at least 20. I would say that's probably your range, like maybe 20 to 40 grams before dinner.
I don't know anything about measurements.
I would say that's probably around where you're eating, which it is actually pretty low, which is good. I mean, it's like you're not eating like, because you're not big. So it's like, I mean, not in like the overweight sense, you're a sculpted man, but the thing is, like, you're using the protein, I would say, in a way that it's like, it's not that high of a ratio, even though it probably would be higher than somebody who's like big that needs to lose weight, but you're probably using it better. So it actually kind of makes sense. Even if you are eating less protein, you don't have to worry too much about like hitting the really low amounts. So I would say it's fine. The branched chain amino acids are probably doing you well. And then,
so you're saying the lower the higher you are in terms of body fat is where the higher protein becomes more of a problem.
Yes, actually, for losing the weight. I mean, if you notice any sort of weight gain, it probably is that you need to cut down on the branched chain amino acids unless you're eating PUFAs.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by unless you're eating PUFAs?
Well, like I'm saying, like if you're getting a lot of PUFAs built up in the diet, then it would make sense why you're putting on adipose tissue. I mean, you could gain weight as well, just eating like significant. I mean, I guess that would kind of just go back to what I was saying before. If you're eating significant amounts of protein with the other stuff, it would slow down the metabolizing of the other things. You know, the fat and the sugar too, it kind of becomes like, I mean, I would think that the reason that like the Randall cycle is a thing and that, you know, fat and sugar being like basically metabolized and like the way they're being processed by the cells is happening in a way that can oftentimes seem like, you know, people are gaining weight in that manner. I would probably say is the high amount of protein in the diet, like preventing them both from just being used properly from the looks of it. So I would imagine that you could actually have the cream with the like sugar diet, have that fat, have that sugar, and it's not really going to be as bad or really even a problem if you're just not eating too high protein.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even think that people were eating that much more protein than they are now. I would have thought, given the amount of vegans and so on that there are, that it would be even less than like early American diet.
Well, I don't know. It depends. If they're not eating mainly fruit, they're getting a lot of the proteins from vegetables.
Yeah, and that's awful.
Like vegetables and roots, a lot of them could have, I mean, it depends on the roots and vegetables, but a lot of them actually can have those sorts of proteins in them. So if anything, and they're not really getting like carbohydrates unless they're eating fruit, right? So their protein to carbohydrate ratio might actually be different than you'd imagine. And honestly, I don't really know where they're getting even fat unless they're eating like, cause where are they really getting saturated fat unless they were somehow magically as well eating coconut oil, which there might be some, but you know, like a lot of them probably aren't. They're using a lot of the unsaturated fats because if they believe veganism is a good thing, they might believe that too. So overall, they're really not eating. I mean, obviously they're not eating well, but I'm saying like they're probably still getting more protein than you'd imagine, and they're probably still getting like not the right fats. And honestly, they're probably not getting as many carbs as you'd imagine, unless you're like a fruitarian.
Which, admittedly, is the better choice.
Yeah, it's a little hard to meet all of your nutritional requirements, but it's easy. It's a lot better than eating just vegetables. I would say, like you know those like red meat ticks that bite you, and then like you have like you know wherever these things are coming from, who knows what country, but but you know those ones that were like they bite you and you can no longer consume like meat or dairy.
I do now.
There was some word going around about them before, but I really haven't heard much about them since. Like there was like a short period where people are like, oh, these ticks can bite you and this can happen. If I were to have to deal with that, if there was no other way I could find a solution around the red meat intolerance, which I'm sure there's something you can do. I mean, for the most part, like coconut oil, fruits, it's kind of hard because you can't use cream or milk to make up for like the calcium and such. Maybe eggshell powder might still work. So there's that. I mean, I'd probably eat, like, if I could still eat gelatin, I don't know if it would exclude me from eating gelatin, maybe. Like, I don't know. Because it's kind of different. It's different than the meat itself. I mean, it's in the amino acids and such, so I might still be able to have that. Who knows if it just makes you intolerant to branched chain amino acids, actually. And it's not like anything else about the meat and the dairy. So maybe cream's still viable. It could be that way. I don't know exactly what they do, but it's like, what exactly would they target from those things other than that? I'm trying to imagine. Because I don't know if it had something to do with the proteins or what. If it I don't think it had to do with saturated fat. If it did do that, it's so over. I would have to eat like pure sugar just because, like, honestly, like, I mean, the sugar, if it's going to convert to fat, it's going to convert to saturated. So at least there's that. I mean, I would probably just try and induce de novo lipogenesis. Like, I'd probably induce fat gain with the sugar, like, on purpose so that I have saturated fat. Honestly. Something like that, man. Like, it would have to be some way like that. I wouldn't want to be like, you know, fat starved.
Or just starved.
Yeah, that either.
All right.
Well, I mean, you could get I mean, you can supplement a lot of vitamins. I would say like an easy way to get B vitamins, like Red Bull. Like, I would probably drink Red Bull just to get my B12 and all the other B vitamins and help myself in that time of need. I don't know about vitamin A. That's gonna be a little difficult.
Shit, I'm gonna have to. Can't you get vitamin A from carrots?
True. Yeah, it's a beta carotene, and as long as you have enough like thyroid function and B vitamins, you can convert it to the right vitamin A. You're right.
Yeah, there you go. There's your doomsday.
And potatoes are pretty nutritionally complete as well. So if you can eat them with like some sort of saturated fat, like, you know, that would be optimal. Orange juice is pretty nutritionally complete as well. So like orange juice, potatoes, Red Bull, like, and then like a lot of other fruit. I'd say like, and coconut oil. I'd say you're pretty much set there. Like you can live like that. Perhaps some sort of shellfish for the rest of it.
Pause.
What?
You'll still have the meat cravings though.
Oh. I think you could survive that way. I think honestly, in carrot salad and such, like you could survive on that and be a lot better than like almost any vegan, really.
Well, I mean, it's not really a high.
I know
bar.
there's not a high standard for that. I think you could be almost as optimal as you are now, if not practically the same, just because of you getting the nutrition from the right places. And if you really feel that like meat craving, I mean, like you could just use mushrooms, like if you really need some more protein.
That's not a bad idea.
So, I mean, there are so many things you can do here where like you can almost make like, I mean, it's not even almost like you can practically make veganism work practically.
Yeah, but they're retarded.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like just in the same way that I was talking about the ex-fat loss guy making keto work for the first time I've ever seen. Like there are ways to do these things. You just got to do them PD. But like basically, as long as you implement what you've learned, you can do a lot of different ways of eating and still be okay. Because you're just modifying which parts of like the diet or like which parts of your way of eating you're taking from.
Damn, I really don't want to have to start buying Red Bull.
It's kind of expensive.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
You would think they'd make those energy drinks a bit easier on the wallet.
Yeah, I saw, what was it? I don't know how many. I think it was like maybe 24. It's like $60.
Jesus.
Yeah. I've tried some recently because it's like I wanted to see how
It
it
got
was.
that weird taste, but I'll take it over Celsius. Celsius fucked up my stomach the one time I had it.
I've honestly reacted pretty well to it when I've been trying it.
I don't know. I did not like it. It's
and I don't like the gym guy was telling me he gets caffeine jitters from it. I didn't notice that at all. He was suggesting Rain, but Rain has sucralose.
I don't think I've ever had jitters from caffeine like that.
Yeah, it seems like he has a significant adrenaline response to caffeine for some reason, like more so than I do.
I've been drinking a decent amount of Coke too, so
I've honestly I think my response to caffeine actually used to be greater, like as far as like negative response from the adrenals, it actually used to be greater than it is now, because I've like noticed that if I were to have any sort of caffeine, like I don't react to it as bad as I did before. Honestly, there was a point where I was, and I noticed it even, you know, like I would say in the past couple months. But I mean, and honestly, like to be fair, like I was on the honey diet where I wasn't eating a lot of fat, and so that actually was like when I noticed like more adrenaline response if I tried any caffeine, even the Coke. But now it's like it's like I can just have it, you know, for the most part. I may still get a little bit of inflammation if I try it in like certain like joints or such, like not too much. Like I used to get way more. Now I'm okay. So honestly, like peating works.
And that's where we'll leave it.
Yeah. No more Adam 22.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, does anybody want more Adam 22? Not
really. I got really invested in this conversation though.
You fucking did.
Dude, it's like, it's so interesting talking about it. Cause like, people will ask me questions, like they'll text asking questions, or they're like ask me in person. Like, the gym guy has been asking about stuff. He wanted to try that keto, that I was talking about from the ex-fat loss. And I was telling him what he should do.
Oh no.
He wants to try. I mean, it's like, it's really like the ex-fat loss guy who does it. His thyroid is like really, like his TSH is really low. And that's actually really good. Like he feels incredible. It's crazy.
Why, if he knew he could do the same thing without cutting out meat, why wouldn't he go for that? Not a ex-fat loss guy, but a gym guy.
Without cutting out meat?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like because that ex-fat loss eats a low amount of meat?
No, I'm saying he said he was interested in the ex-fat loss version of keto. Why would he just not Peat where he doesn't have to cut out meat to begin with? Because his whole thing is losing weight, I assume.
Yeah, well, ex-fat loss doesn't cut out meat altogether. He still eats like a serving of it a day, but he's just eating a lot of the heavy cream, so less branched chain amino acids, but basically still almost a carnivore diet, really. So I mean, it's the best way you could really do keto. Ideally, I'm really interested to see how he does on it, just because I'm a man of science. Okay, I really want to see how this works for him. I want to see a person do this, and since he's so willing, like, because I told him about the protein restriction, he was skeptical. I was telling him about how it can be done with carbs because I was talking about Brad Marshall, but he seemed very hesitant to do that. So I told him about the keto, and he really got attracted to it, even though I just mentioned there's a way of doing it like that, and he's like, yeah, I want to do that. I was like, okay.
Why?
Like, he's tried keto before. I don't know. He's noticed the fat loss. I guess he thinks it's like efficient for him. But honestly, I don't think it'll do harm, just because it's like I've seen ex-fat loss do it and have good results. I'm really interested to see how it works for him. I really am. So I'll help him and let him go with it, you know, unless there's a problem. If there's any sort of problem, then it's like, okay, well, probably don't do that. But he's going to try it out, see how it works. So, okay, you know, go for it.
The issue is, if we're ever likely in the same area and we want to go eat somewhere or something, now we've got two completely diametrically opposed desires in terms of nutrients.
It's not like he can even go out to eat like that, because he has to eat specified things that it's like he would have
That's
to.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's going to be a fucking mess.
But the thing is, like, even ex-fat loss is like, what do you do when you go out with friends? There was like a frequently asked question. He's like, be an asshole, get water or coffee.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
Yeah. But I mean, it works for him. So I like ex-fat loss. So
I think at that point, oh, well, he's doing keto. Yeah. I was going to say, I would get a soda or like alcohol.
Well, anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it works for him. He might not do that for like ages, man. Like there might be a stretch when he does it. But honestly, like, you know, we could do other things, gym, whatever, you know, something that doesn't necessarily
without eating.
Well, could do it before or after. At, you know, his location where he has his food accessible to him. I've been to his house a couple times. His mom like makes burgers and eggs.
Oh shit! Sign me up, bro.
Yeah, it's nice. And I mean, I brought my own stuff too from a certain location, but you know, for the carbs, because honestly, just best way of getting them is from me just bringing a thing of honey around with me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like I'll bring.
Let's tie up this loose end real quick.
I
meant like the podcast.
Oh, we're wrapping it up.
I mean, unless you want to keep going.
I had something else to mention there.
Oh, okay, keep going then.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I mean, we can just go for a couple more minutes.
I was gonna ask though, do you just carry like a jar of honey with you?
Well, I bought it at a store nearby and took it with me to his house. Well, and then I took it with me to a friend's house yesterday.
So you're just like.
I mean, yesterday when I went to my friend's house, I took a bag of fruit. There was like cherry plums and apple, orange, like tangerines. I took a masadina pancake that I had left. I took a jar of honey. I took a Coke. Yeah, I mean, I even took a Red Bull yesterday, actually. So like I actually took like the stuff I'd need throughout the day. I wasn't too malnourished by the time, like, I mean, I wasn't really even malnourished. I ate some more in the car, like of the rest of the stuff. Oh yeah, I took Bugles too. I ate that stuff like throughout the day. It was a little hot in his house, so I actually wasn't too hungry for the most part when I was really hot while I was there. But when I got back in the car, I was a little cooler, so I'm like, okay, let me eat some more. I got back home. I had coconut water, and then like this jar of cream with orange juice and orange juice concentrate and sugar. Dude, that was incredible. I had like orange juice concentrate, put that in there, put like 5 spoons of sugar, put this, like filled it up with cream. Oh my God, it was like a dreamsicle. It was amazing. That really was just a great dinner, honestly. I might have it again today. I might need it after this. But yeah, no, overall, I was just going to say there's like a couple other people I've talked to health about. Like the guy who I told you about that was like balding, not the cousin, the other guy. He's talked about some other stuff and I've helped him out with his like, health, you know, like I've been telling him certain things he can do. He's off sucralose. He's like, you know, he understands that honey's better and coconut oil is good. And dude, he's like baking soda. Like he's going for all this that I'm telling him about. He's actually trying it out. I know somebody else that, you know, again, it's a figure as we were talking about before. Like she's actually like open to the low protein stuff, like looking at the Brad Marshall podcast and all that. So like there's people I know that are like open to trying these things, see what works for them. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's like, you know, very receptive. It's nice. But that was it. That was pretty much what I was just going to mention.
I'm like 90% certain I'm gonna get a quarter pounder after I end this. Yeah.
Just get it without cheese and use your own cheese.
No, it's not the same. Then
Use
I
your
gotta
own
melt
cheese.
it.
You should be like, can you use this slice of cheese? Bring a single loose slice and give it to him.
You know, I was gonna say last thing. I still need to buy some dates that I can carry around.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be perfect.
It would be. I like raisins, man. I like raisins. Like a bag of raisins, like Anabology even posted about it. He's like, dude, it's just so calorie dense. It's like, and they're actually like easier for me to consume just in like large quantities compared to dates.
But
Dates I kind of get like sick of the taste as I go.
Oh my god.
If I eat too many, I get sick of the taste.
Bro, they taste so good.
I like them. I like them a lot with butter. That makes me like eat way more. If I put like butter in them, dude, they taste so good. I start eating so many of them.
I can't carry around a tub of butter with me, unfortunately.
How about you put butter in the dates, freeze them, keep them in like a Tupperware, and just start taking them out as you want?
Because then I gotta carry a Tupperware around.
Okay. Well, anyway.
And it's gonna be a glass Tupperware too, so it's almost certainly gonna break.
All right. Well, you'll figure out something. I'm sure you'll like the dates by themselves. It's fine. You know, me personally, I do it different. I'm built different. All right, guys. It's been another week.
You are literally built different.
It's been another week on the podcast.
The podcast ever. Come back next week where you can hear our tangents on nutrition and mildly politically charged analyses of assassination attempts. I'm sure there'll be another one next week.
Bye-bye.